Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special live episode of the Shooters Lounge podcast. I'm your host, Matt, at PostUp323. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. You can follow us on YouTube and also follow us on the socials at Shooters Lounge 3, and also follow us in podcast form on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. This is one of my favorite podcasts of the year, special live episode. The playoffs are finally here. After a grueling 82-game season, this is the business end. Legends are made, dreams are dashed. This is my favorite time of the year, probably the best weekend of the year. Non-stop NBA basketball, Saturday, Sunday, and then every day up until the finals in June. Tonight, or today, should I say, we've got a very special guest. He's a member of NBA UK Fans, Sky, freelance journalist, Durham Cricket Comms. I could keep going, but we're kind of got to get things going. So we've got welcoming back Rob. Welcome back to the Shooters Lounge, sir.
Cheers, mate. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And yeah, looking forward to getting these heated playoff debates started.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. This is the business end. Like I say, man, this is the exciting time, isn't it, to be an NBA fan? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. You go, like you say, it's a long season from mid to late October to last week. And then if your teams were in the play-in, you've obviously had maybe one or two games this week. You've now got the playoffs. And the mad thing is, you mentioned it there, like playoffs are starting today, late April. We won't know the champion for another 2 months. Like it's insane. It's insane. But this is where the best basketball is played. This is where all your excuses, all your injuries, they have to go out the window. This is playoffs. You win or go home. You win or go home. And we saw that in the play-in over the last week.
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it. Talk is cheap, Rob, isn't it? Talk is cheap. It's time to start delivering, isn't it, man? That's where we're at. So, yeah, absolutely. So there will be another guest dropping in on us, guys, in a few minutes. He's running a bit late. I'll divulge it when he shows up. But who it's going to be? We said we were going to be live at 10, so we said we better get going. So, and Rob's only going to be with us for a few minutes, unfortunately, but I appreciate you giving up the time, Rob. So we better dive right in. So shall we go with the East first, Rob? You might have a vested interest in that side of the bracket, yeah? Is that what we're saying?
I mean, yeah, if people don't remember me from my previous podcast appearances, you'll find out very quickly where my allegiances lie.
Yeah. Yes, I think so. Yeah, well documented, shall we say, Rob? Yeah,
very well documented.
Yeah. So thanks to anybody who's dropping in already. We've got Luke. Nice one, Luke, for dropping in, bro. Always a pleasure. So yeah, we better dive right in. So I think we better start with the 1 seed. So we've got the 1 seed Cleveland Cavaliers and the last night winning the play-in, the 8th seed, or whether the 10th seed, I don't really know. They're the 8th seed now, but they were the 10th seed, Miami Heat. How do you think this one's going to go on, Rob? Can you see an upset in here, or do you think it's kind of going to be normal service as usual?
I don't think there's going to be an upset. Miami might take a game because their coaching staff, Eric Spoelstra and his guys out there, obviously championship winning coach, very well respected staff. They're able to nick a game off Boston last year in that first round, kind of tied the series at 1-1 when everyone was expecting the Celtics are just going to sweep them. But Cleveland has just been way too good. There's a reason why Cleveland wrapped up the best record in the East, one of the I think second best record overall, only just behind the Thunder. And there's a reason why Miami were below 500 and only just managed to get into the playoffs via the play-in. So I think Miami may take a game. Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, that 2-man game can cause problems for Cleveland on the offensive end. But records don't lie. Miami were under 500 for a reason. They had the turmoil of the Jimmy Butler scenario. They got dealt with at the trade deadline. But yeah, there's a reason why Miami were the 10th seed at the start of this week. So I think a gentleman's sweep for Cleveland here. I think it's going to be 4-1.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much the same with you there, Rob. Yeah, I can't see a Miami upset, unfortunately. Sorry, UK Dan from Miami UK. I'd love to be able to pitch the upset here, but yeah, I think the Cavs have just had an amazing year, haven't they? I think they've definitely exceeded expectations that they must have had at the start of the year. New coach coming in Atkinson, and they've just kind of gone from strength to strength. Similar team that they had last year, but just a different coach. So sometimes it's just a different coach, different scheme, and you cannot unlock what you already. I think what they already had talent wise, but just unlocking a different scheme and things. And statistically, one of the best offenses ever. This Cleveland team. So. I think it's also quite a decent defense as well. So kind of ready for the playoffs, mate. Really, I think the Cavs.
And the fact they're doing it with two big men as well. We don't see that a lot in the league anymore. Evan Mobley's developed a 3-point shot. He's not efficient 3-point shooter yet, but the fact he's willing to step outside and take those shots, spacing the floor. It's all the rage. It's all the rage now. Ever since Steph Curry came into the league, everyone has realised just how valuable it is to have at least 4 guys who can space the floor. If you got 5, you'd live in the dream. So, Cleveland being able to do that, and as you say, it's a very similar to roster to what they had last year. They just changed the coaching staff, and they were very aggressive at the trade deadline. They parted way with George Niang, who'd been a very important part of their rotation. Brought in some guys that they felt could step them over the top. So ownership obviously believes that this is a year for them to make a title run. The East is obviously a lot easier to come out of than the West. The West is a bloodbath, as it is every year, even more so this year with, I think last week we had about 7, the 4 seed down to 10 seed was still to be decided on the final day of the regular season. So, Cleveland have geared up for this. Found it interesting they didn't really rest their starters down the stretch. They wanted to kind of keep that momentum going, which kind of also is a little bit surprising considering they knew they were going to be one of the last teams to play because they had to wait for the second playing game to find out their opponent. But I guess in the grand scheme of things, it's not massive. They've had this week off from playing. Obviously, they've been preparing for whoever they thought they were going to face. It turns out to be the Heat. And like I say, I don't think Cleveland's going to have many issues with this. I think Miami will take a game just because it'll be one of those desperate ones where a bit of luck and Cleveland maybe thinking the series is wrapped up. Miami playing a lot harder, season on the line. I think they might take a game, but overall, I think this is going to be a very quick job for Cleveland.
Yeah. I mean, you might get a Tyler Hero 40-point game or something, and that's kind of getting you one game maybe. But it's a tough. But Miami, well coached, Spoelstra, been there and done it. They've been in a lot of big games in those players. So you never know, do you? How it's gonna pan out. But Luke in the chat, he's gone Cavs in 6. So I'll agree with Luke on that one. I think Miami could probably take a couple of games, but it wouldn't surprise me if this was a sweep or 5, to be honest. So that's it. It'd be interesting to see, but we've come a long way, haven't we, from Mitchell and Garland couldn't play with each other 2 years ago now to now they've kind of swept their way through the East this year. We've come a long way since that, Rob, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Donovan Mitchell has grown as a playmaker kind of ever since he's got to Cleveland. Darius Garland just seems to get better and better. The only query I have, and this is for later on in the playoffs, those 2 guys are going to be attacked defensively.
Yeah.
And while the Cavs rotation is built so they can have longer defenders on the floor, they're maybe not necessarily the best offensive players either. So that's maybe something to watch out for as Cleveland progresses through the playoffs, or as I expect them to progress throughout the playoffs. That maybe those guys come into a little bit of issue on the defensive end. We saw last year in the second round, Boston targeted them every single time down the floor and were able to get easy looks, get clean looks, be able to generate clean offense. So that's one thing that comes from having 2 relatively undersized guards at the position. Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, they're not the biggest players. Mitchell plays bigger than he is because of his verticality, his ability to. He's got longish arms for his height and his position. But ultimately, if you end up coming up against, they're on the same side of the draw as Indiana and Milwaukee. The Giannis is going to be all over that matchup if they're able to get through Indiana. If Indiana get through Pascal Siakam, Miles Turner, Aaron Nesmith, bigger players, bigger wings as well. That's going to be interesting for them to watch as the playoffs develop. But yeah, overall, I think Mitchell and Garland have developed really well as a combo. Kate Atkinson's definitely brought out the best in them to generate them to this historic season for them. And yeah, there's very good reason to be optimistic if you're a Cavs fan.
No, absolutely. I did say we were going to have a special guest, and it almost worked like it was just a seamless transition. So we did have a special guest dropping in. Now he is here. So here we go. Welcome to the pod again, a podcast OG, friend of the podcast. We've got AB. AB, welcome back to the Shooters Lounge, bro.
Thanks, man. It's good to be back. How's it going, Matt? Hope all good, man.
Yeah, man, all good, mate. This is what it's all about. Favorite pod of the year, bro. So we've got to represent, haven't we, bro? Yeah.
Gotta represent. Even though our teams aren't there, we gotta represent.
Absolutely. I was saying earlier, man, it's like just going to enjoy the playoffs as a neutral, bro. That's literally where we're at, like, you know what I mean? So
stress-free, man.
Stress-free. Absolutely. Rob's got a bit more skin in the game, being a Celtics fan. So definitely a bit more skin in the game than me and you have got, bro, haven't you, for sure? So all good. So we're just touching on the Cleveland Miami series, mate. The 1-8 seed, bro. How do you see this one ducking out?
Yeah, first of all, obviously last night Miami Heat beating the Atlanta Hawks. Obviously crazy game. Going to overtime, David Mitchell knocking down them threes. I don't know why Trae Young was daring him to shoot. I mean, I understand when it's like win or go home situation, it's almost like kind of like March Madness, whereby not the scouting report goes out the window, but you can't rely on players' tendencies to be like, okay, this guy might be a 23% shooter, 3-point shooter. But you can't go into a win or go home game thinking that, because that might be the game. He knocks down 4 or 5 threes and you go home. So, but when it's like a 7-game series, that's when you can kind of like game plan more. You can be like, okay, this guy's tendency is to do this, that guy's tendency is to do that. So you're more inclined to think about like long term. But obviously, I favor the Miami Heat anyway, given that they're playoff OGs. How many playing games have they been in? Like, it's crazy.
King of the play-in, mate, almost. Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah, man.
But in terms of this Cleveland, I mean, I'm guessing you guys must have discussed this before. The season that Cleveland have had, I mean, no one really expected it, but they just blown the regular season out the water. I mean, obviously Donovan Mitchell playing out all NBA level, Darius Garland stepping up, the evolution of Evan Mobley as well. A lot of people, obviously, when they drafted Evan Mobley and they paired him with Jarrett Allen in the front court, they were saying, can they really mesh together, two non-shooting kind of like bigs? But they've blown those accusations out of the water. I mean, they're just brilliant, and it's gonna be an interesting matchup. But I think obviously my prediction, I don't think the Miami Heat really stand any chance up against the Cavs. I know obviously they went on fairy tales run, haven't come out the play-in, but this is not the Miami Heat of old. There's no Jimmy Butler walking through that door. As much as I like Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo, they've been holding it down, but they're gonna be no match for the Cavaliers. So I'm gonna take the Cavaliers in this series.
Okay, have we got a score, AB? What correct series score, bro? What we're saying?
Even though I think they're no match for the Cavaliers, I still believe in Heat culture. Obviously, Pat Riley, Sports, Coach Spo. I think Coach Spo can probably coach one win, maybe. So I'm gonna take the Cavs in 5.
Nice.
Take the Cavs in 5. Yeah.
Sound. Yeah. So you're with Rob on that one, mate. So great minds. So absolutely. So moving on to the next one then. I think Rob's got a bit more interest in this one. Second seed, reigning champs, Boston Celtics, coming up against the Orlando Magic, who won via the play-in a few nights ago. Got to kick it off with Rob. Rob, how do you see this one? Can the Magic upset, or do you think Celtics have got too much firepower in this one?
If we were playing this back in December, I would have said the Magic had a chance, but we're not. We're in April now, so look, the Magic have had a very tough time with injuries this year. You know, Paolo Banchero went down very early on. Franz Wagner, I think, or Mo Wagner went down with a torn ACL, key bench piece. You know, kind of just unsettled the rhythm. They had a good end to the season. I think across their last 15 or 16 games, they went 13-2. So a very good end to the season for them. But this is the first time this group is kind of going into the playoffs, kind of getting tested, and I don't think you could have asked for a much tougher of a series than the reigning champs, who were kind of rounding into form at the right sort of time. Been on an absolute tear since the All-Star break, and that's with players missing time with injuries. Starting five from last year's barely played nearly as much as they did last year. So, like I say, I think Orlando could take one. Their fans are very passionate down there in Florida, so I think they might steal a home game. But you look down the Celtics roster, Jaylen Brown's dealing with a niggling knee injury.
How serious is that, Rob? Are they concerned, or where we at?
Everyone says he's good to go, and at this point, I don't trust anyone else other than what Jaylen Brown says about his body. He knows it. He knows it best. So he got an injection around this time last week, so he missed the final few games of the season. Knocked him out of all NBA eligibility, but he already had his contract scale ups maxed out, so there was no financial incentive there, which some people bring it down to. Jason Tatum's a top 5 player in the league, arguably top 3, arguably top 2. Derek White, Drew Holiday, good luck scoring on that backcourt. Both can defend up as well. So Boston can pretty comfortably switch 1 through 4, 1 through 5. Peyton Pritchard, runaway favorite for 6th man of the year. We'll see if he ends up getting it. But, and the common conception is, the Celtics just jack up threes for fun. It's like the Celtics will find your weakest defender, put them in the action, force you to rotate. And is it their fault if they're able? They literally work on reads every day in practice, where the playmakers know where the shooters are, so that as soon as you put 2 to the ball against the Celtics, you're done for, because then it's a 4-on-3, and it's just a numbers game. So, Kristaps Porzingis, the ultimate unicorn, can shoot from 35 feet, can post you up. You can't really switch a smaller guard onto him, because he will just go to the post, and then you're screwed there as well if you put 2 there. It's exactly the same scenario, just a different spot on the floor. So Celtics have got just too much firepower for the Magic. I do like them. I think they're going to come good next year if they can put together a healthy season, which is as much about luck as it is anything else. So I think the Magic take 1, but Celtics are going to kick off the 2024-2025 playoffs with a gentleman's sweep 4-1.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Orlando missing Suggs as well. Suggs is out as well, which is a massive loss for them guys.
Huge on the defense for them. Absolute dog would be able to harass every single ball handler the Celtics have. So it just feels like they've made progress. They've got themselves into the playoffs, but as I mentioned, you probably can maybe the Cavs if you believe in your team record so much, but you really couldn't have asked for a much tougher first playoff series as a group.
Yeah, they're just Orlando. Every time I watch them, I just feel like they're just missing that lead guard. They're missing the kind of 1 or 2 guys, and then maybe they've got something, something for the future. Definitely, Banchero, he's only going to get better, isn't he? And they're just a couple of players short. They're a year away from being a year away, as the saying goes, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So they're nearly there. But I mean, Orlando used to be Boston's bogey team, right, Rob?
I mean, they've got a pretty good record against us, actually. Since James Harden took over. So obviously the Magic fans they're preying on that. But this Celtics team coming into April is they know how to switch up. If you've watched the Celtics since the All-Star break, you can just tell it's gone to another level. Everyone knows it's a stretch run, time to lock in, time to get healthy. There was a 28, I think, point comeback in Philadelphia. There was multiple blowouts towards the back end of the year. They earned the privilege to rest their starters down the stretch, and their bench stepped up and got the wins anyway. So, definitely Orlando's got size. Orlando's got physicality that they can bring to this matchup.
Yeah.
But the thing that the Celtics is going to exploit is that Wendell Carter Jr. drop coverage. You really can't afford to be in drop coverage for long against the Celtics, because those guys can heat up in 1 or 2 attempts. And as soon as say Jason Tatum heats up from deep, if he hits 3 threes to start the game, you're looking at abandoning drop coverage, going to switch, going to double team, and his playmaking ability is off the charts. And the way that the Celtics will set up, it's an easy outlet pass to, say, Jaylen Brown or Derek White or Drew Holiday. As soon as your defense is tilted, the Celtics are built to have 5 guys on the floor pretty much at any one time that can attack the tilted defense. Al Horford, ultimate glue guy, can do pretty much anything you ask of him. So, that's what I say. I think we'll see the Magic start in drop coverage, but it won't be long before they have to go away from that. And as Joe Mazzulla says, as soon as you have to adjust in any team, as soon as you have to adjust your coverage, you're screwed. You are absolutely screwed. So we'll see how the Magic start off this series. If it is drop coverage, I suspect it will be, because Wendell Carter Jr. doesn't quite have that lateral quickness on the perimeter to deal with shifty players like Brown, like Tatum, like Pritchard, White, Holiday. But yeah, like you say, I think the Magic, if they can get healthy over the summer, who knows what they'll be doing in free agency, the trade market. I think it's just a little bit of unfortunate timing, but the promise is there. They've got to the playoffs. Paolo Banchero is a bona fide star. I think he might be due for a contract extension either this offseason or next offseason. If it's next offseason, the Magic need to make moves this coming offseason to maximize the final year of his rookie deal. But we'll wait and see on that. Don't quote me on that. I may be completely wrong. He may have already signed a rookie extension. But I think the Magic, just unfortunately, they just don't have enough firepower. They've got the defense. I don't think they've got the offense.
Yeah, it's the age-old best three-point shooting team in the league versus the best three-point defense in the league. Something's got to give, Rob, hasn't it? So we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. AB, how do you see this one panning out?
Yeah, similar to what Rob's saying. I mean, the Boston Celtics, when you're the defending champion, you earn the right to be favored in all of these series. And I feel like in terms of like the regular season, we know what the Celtics are. We've seen what they've done year after year after year. Like, in my opinion, this season they just coasted to 60 wins. I mean, as Rob mentioned, Porzingis missed time, Drew Holiday missed time. Like, with these guys missing time, and they still like easy just racked up 60 wins. So they know what they're doing. Like, their real playoffs for me start in the conference semis and the conference finals, I think. But yeah, obviously coming up against the Magic team, as Rob mentioned as well, missing a lot of guys. Jalen Suggs being out is a huge loss. Mo Wagner missed a lot of time as well. One thing about the Magic though, like their size is just crazy. I mean, earlier this season, I was at a Magic game. They played my Sixers in Philadelphia. I was lucky to be like low enough in the arena, and then I just seen Anthony Black like matched up against Jav McCain. I'm thinking, this guy, like his size difference is crazy. Like the way they move around the court, Suggs, and then John Isaac just comes off the bench. I mean, it's crazy. So in terms of like matchup wise, this is why I wish Jalen Suggs was there. But I feel like matchup wise, across the perimeter, I think they really match up well. Obviously, they've got the second best defensive rating in the league, and obviously guys like Jalen Suggs were key to that. That's why, again, him being out is a real loss. But offensively, they really lack that firepower. I mean, if Cole Anthony isn't giving them that scoring punch off the bench, Banchero has to carry the offensive load. And I feel like that's why his shot diet is how it is, because you're looking at someone who's at 6'10", he's strong, he's big-bodied, but he has to take jumpers because obviously the guard play just isn't there. The scoring in the backcourt just isn't there for them. I mean, someone like Anthony Black I mentioned earlier, he's just like a 32% shooter from deep on like 2 attempts per game. That's not going to cut in this league when you got Tatum, Brown, Porzingis, Derek White just firing threes. So I think the Magic are going to be well undermatched coming up against the defending champions. I think I'm gonna take the Celtics in 5 as well. I think the Magic, Magic probably just take a game because I think the Celtics are just laser focused on that conference finals matchup. So I think it'll be easy work for them.
Yeah, I think it's tough to sell a Magic upset on this one, isn't it? I think just kind of outgunned, and also the stretches this season where the Magic's offense is just rough to watch. It just doesn't flow, and they go for shooting droughts a lot. I mean, they made a lot of threes in the playing game, and that's why they beat the Hawks. Usually that doesn't happen for the Magic, and Cole Anthony had like 30. So, that doesn't happen every game, like you say, guys. So, it's just outgunned, I'm afraid, I think, for this one. So, I'll take Celtic sweep, man. I just can't see anything. So, I'll take the sweep. You better get them brooms out, bro. Unfortunately. But, Orlando, they're not going anywhere. And hopefully next year they can kind of come back healthy. And if they make a couple of moves, Orlando might have a half decent team, but this year I think it's going to be a quick 1-2-3 Cancun for these boys, I think. So unlucky. So moving on to the next one, we've got the 3 seed New York Knicks versus probably the surprise team of the year, guys. I'd have to say Detroit Pistons. It's been a few years since they've been in the playoffs, but playoff basketball is back in Detroit. So as a Detroit fan, you must be loving it at the moment, because I don't think they thought they were going to be here. Great finish, 6 seed, which brilliant for them guys. But do you see them having any chances in the first round, AB? What we're saying?
I think they have a chance. I think they definitely have a chance. Whether or not I'll back them, I'm not sure. But yeah, we got to give them some flowers, because I mean they won 14 games last year. Went on like 20? What was their losing streak?
It was like a 30 game. It was like a 30 game losing streak.
And then you had guys
bro.
I remember it because they were up at halftime in the Garden against us, and everyone thought, "Oh my god, this is going to be so like Celtics if Boston are the team that lose to Detroit," and then Detroit ended up losing in overtime or something like that, and it was kind of like when is it going to end? I think they would have ended against Washington, because there's a Kyle Kuzma viral tweet of, and this point it's like, don't be that team, and then they did that, and they broke against Washington. And I mean, I'd much rather be on the Detroit side of things than the Kyle Kuzma side of things since then.
Ouch. It's so crazy that Kyle Kuzma said that. Like, you think at the time he was on the Wizards, like they were doing anything that season anyway.
Exactly, mate.
Come on, man.
14 games last year. That's how many. Yeah, you're right, dude. 14. That's a hell of a jump, bro, isn't it? That's a hell of a jump, man. Yeah.
They didn't even just make the play-in. They went straight into a first round series. That's impressive. That's really impressive.
Absolutely. And a coach, Bickerstaff, who was let go by Cleveland because they didn't make it out of round 2. And obviously the job that Monty did last year was. I've never seen such a cash grab in all my life. Monty coaching the Pistons last year, he literally just like mailed it in, didn't he? He was just like, yeah, we'll play, third stringers 35 minutes a game and stuff. It was just a weird season, and a shame if you're a Pistons fan. But just for him to be back in the playoffs, mate, is a good thing for him, maybe, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. And Detroit's one of them franchises where, like, when the Pistons are good, like, you see the fans getting behind the team and things like that. And I feel like the Pistons now, remember someone mentioned earlier, like, when you look at their roster, it kind of imitates, like, the bad boy Pistons when you've got guys like Isaiah Stewart. They've got that toughness with them. Obviously, you saw Malik Beasley and Giannis having, like, a little dust-up a couple of games ago before the end of the regular season. So they've got those enforcers on the court, and I feel like it's a battle of toughness, because the Knicks, they're not going to stand down either. So I think there might be a few technicals in this series, a couple flagrants. I don't know, but yeah, it's going to be really gritty.
Are we going over under game suspensions in this series, guys? What we're saying? How many?
Hey, what's the line?
I think we might be 4 or 5 suspension games here, guys.
I would not be surprised if there's like at least 3 1-game suspensions in there, because this series has got the potential to be spicy.
Oh yeah, Stewart's not making out of this series one way or another. Oh dear, absolutely. But so how do you think it's going to pan out, AB? What we're saying on this one?
I mean, the Knicks, they're under a lot of pressure. I mean, obviously traded for Mikal Bridges in the offseason, bringing in Carl Anthony Towns as well. 5 first-round picks. They're under, and the market as well. You know how Knicks fans are as well. Like, they, after making a trade like that, like they need to be in a conference finals. Realistically, they have to make it to the conference finals. But when you look at the standings, look at the season that the Cavs have had, they probably thought after that trade that they want to have a season that the Cavs kind of had, when they're just blowing teams out of the water, just racking up wins and things like that. But it hasn't really translated that way. I mean, their record against winning teams, I think, is with teams with a better record than them. I think it's like 1-15, 0-4.
Cleveland, OKC, and Boston. Knicks are 0-10.
Yeah, they haven't beaten the Celtics. I've got it up here. They haven't beaten the Celtics, 0-4. Haven't beaten the Warriors, 0-2. Haven't beaten the Lakers. Haven't beaten the Thunder. Haven't beaten the Clippers. Haven't beaten the Cavs, and they're 1-3 against the Pistons. If I'm a Knicks fan looking at those numbers,
ouch.
man.
Yeah.
And that's with those typical rotations where Josh Hart's playing 50 minutes out of the available 48 and then nobody's playing 55 minutes. Like,
He
that
does not,
is not.
Tom Thibodeau has never heard of the term load management or sensible rotations. He's never heard of it. I'm so like sure on that. He's never ever seen it.
He's taken some years off some players' careers, and he over time, Tibbs, man. It's ridiculous, isn't it? He hasn't learned, has he, guys? He is who he is. That's who Tibbs is, isn't it? That's it. What you see is what you get, man, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Oh man, I'm just thinking about it now. Like, I really worry for the Knicks, man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't want to. There's no way they don't win this. There's no way that they don't win a first round. Nah. I'm thinking about. I can't back the Pistons because the Knicks, they just have to win. Like, they got home court advantage as well. No, they can't drop this series. I think this is going to be a long series. I think this might go. It's probably going to go 6 or 7. But I think they'll have just about enough to will their way through this series. I mean, Jalen Brunson, we know what he does in the playoffs, man. Up against my Sixers last year in the playoffs. I mean, we couldn't do anything to stop him. That's made an adjustment, putting Kelly Oubre on him that kind of stifled him a little bit. But when you talk about a player like that, there's no really stopping them. You can only slow them down. I'm looking forward to Asar Thompson matchup on him. I think that's going to be a really, really good matchup on him. I mean, Asar Thompson, he's got clamps. He's got defensive player of the year potential. I really like him. But I just don't think that there's any real stopping them. Obviously, Karl-Anthony Towns as well. We know the kind of playoff lack of success he's had, but it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. But yeah, I'm gonna back the Knicks. I think it's gonna be a rough series for them. I think they get out of this in 6. I'm taking the Knicks in 6.
Really thought you were going to pull the trigger, AB, on the upset, then, bro. I thought he was going to do it. Go on, bro.
I can't, man. I think they've got too much. I think they'll have too much for the Pistons.
Yeah,
and you also have to consider they won 14 games last year. I mean, won 14 games last year, and I don't think you go from winning 14 games to all of a sudden winning a playoff series. I like the moves they've made in the off season and things like that, but I just think the Knicks will have too much for them.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Rob, how do you see this one?
If there is going to be an upset, it's going to be in this series. I think.
Nice.
I think obviously Indiana and Milwaukee is so evenly matched as a 4-5. Like any of those teams come out of that matchup. We've already spoken about the other 2 games. The 7 and 8 seeds don't have enough. If there is going to be an upset, I can see Detroit doing it. I think. First of all, let's give Detroit a massive amount of respect. That their front office this year has been incredible. Mixing up the right balance of experience and youth in that roster. Adding vets like Malik Beasley, Tobias Harris returning to where he was drafted. And to be honest, he was a laughing stock last year. His last year with the Sixers, he was a laughing stock. His value was at all-time low.
I'm sure AB's got thoughts on Tobias Harris, but that's for another podcast.
That's for another podcast.
Yeah, sorry, man.
He's in a better place now.
The Pistons bought low and they've got high reward on him. I think him and Malik Beasley able to guide this kind of younger group. You have got Kay Cunningham who's been in the league now for a little bit, but you've still got young guys like Asar Thompson, Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren, Isaiah Stewart. This is a group. It's kind of like AB said. This literally feels like a remake of the Bad Boy Pistons, just like the modern version. Look, the Knicks have obviously got Jalen Brunson. He is the best player in this series. Let's not mess around. He is the best player in this series.
Yeah.
But this Detroit team matches up well with the Knicks. And like AB said, this pressure on the Knicks group. If this Knicks team does not get out of this first round, they don't have any first-round picks for the foreseable future. They traded them all away.
Questions are going to be asked, aren't they, man? Yeah, for sure. Is Tibbs on the chopping block if they go out in the first round?
Absolutely. If New York loses this, it loses this matchup. Tibbs, I think, has to be a serious question need to be asked.
Yeah.
We can talk about the rotations all we like. I can see the plus side of that. You get your starters in minutes with each other. You get to know tendencies. You get to know that chemistry.
Sure.
But come on now, like if Josh Hart is playing 43 minutes out of 50 in like a double overtime game or whatever, or 43 out of 48, like it's wraps. You know, that's another thing. Josh Hart doesn't space the floor. You know, that's something I think Detroit can really, you know. Yes, the amount of space the Knicks have outside of him means they can have non-shooters. You know, Mitchell Robinson, obviously a non-shooter, but you know, Detroit are gonna. I would not be surprised if there's a game in here where Detroit just goes, you know what, we are not guarding Josh Hart this game.
Just
If he
let him
steps,
shoot.
if he steps inside the 3-point line, we will guard. If he's outside the 3-point line, we are sagging off. We are double teaming Jalen Brunson. We're showing help on Cat. Like we're gonna do everything we can. That being said, the Knicks, you know, you don't just work your way to the 3 seed in the East by being mediocre. You know, you have to be good.
Yeah.
You know, their wings, Bridges and Anunoby, they can lock down most offensive players in the league. There is only a select few that they have struggled with. So, you know, they've got that going for them as well. I agree with AB. I think this is a minimum 6-game series. I don't see either side getting out of it unless... If it does go to a game 7, the Knicks have got the Garden crowd. That is the only thing that has got me going against Detroit so far, is that if it does go 7 games, you're going to have to go to the Garden. Celebs are going to be out. That atmosphere is going to be raucous. It's going to be insane in the Garden. That being said, I am pulling the trigger. Pistons in 7.
Wow!
I think,
oh my goodness!
I think this group for the Pistons has got something about it. I know, AB, you talking about like you don't go from being a 14-win team to a second-round playoff team in 1 year. I mean, Detroit have proved everyone wrong this year, so they're used to being the underdog. They've got motivation to prove that, hey, this is not a blip. This is not a 1 year kind of thing where we're going to make the playoffs and then just, you know, dip back into irrelevancy and be terrible again. Like, you know, they're going to be motivated to prove that they're here to stay. As I mentioned, the right balance of experience and youth in this roster. They don't have a lot of pressure. The Knicks have all the pressure on them in this series. You know, I think Karl Anthony Towns doesn't want to get into it, though. I stay to it. Cat is not about that life. Cat is not about that.
You don't want that smoke, does he, Cat?
Not want it. You know, I can see that, like I say, this is going to be spicy. There's going to be technicals. There's going to be flagrant. There will be suspensions in this series. But I don't know, man. I really, really like the Pistons. Cade Cunningham, I don't agree with the fact he should be most improved player because he's a former number 1 overall pick. He is doing what everyone expected him to do.
Agreed.
Thank you.
But his run this year, leading this group, showing that veteran leadership in only year 4 or 5 for him. You know, if he can improve that 3-point shot in the next couple of years, everyone's going to be so impressed, and everyone's going to be so scared of how well he can lead this team. He's going to make Detroit. He's making Detroit a destination team. Since when have we said Detroit Pistons are a destination team for a free agent in this league? So yeah, like I say, there is a situation where the Knicks do win this in 6 or 7, but to me, Detroit being on the run they're on, the motivation they've got, the kind of, hey, we've got fucking nothing to lose here. We can go all out. We can, you know, no one expected this from us this year.
No.
They can play freer. They can play with that little bit of extra aggressiveness. I think they match up really well in the front court. The bigs, I think, match out. Obviously, Cat's got the spacing, but you know, Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart, they are about it. Like, you step foot inside that paint, they're going to let you know they're there. So, yeah, I mean, Knicks fans, feel free to come at me after this if the Knicks end up winning it. But also, I am not. That's why I'm rocking with the Pistons. I would not be surprised if the Pistons end up getting this series and going on to face Boston or Orlando in round 2.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, great case, Rob. Great case, man, for doing it. Yeah, I think the questions about Cade were there, weren't they? Can he be that franchise guy? Has he got the talent and
They're not questions anymore.
Exactly, mate. I think he's answered that. But like you said about most improved, mate, I'm with you on that one. I think, you know, when you pick number 1 in the draft, you can't be most improved.
How? Like, you're expected to improve.
Yeah, that's the point, isn't it? Right? If we're getting number 1 pick, bro. Right?
The entire thing of the most improved player award is that you pick up guys that are in like late lottery, late first, second round picks. That, you know, kind of, what's the average career in the NBA? 4 years, if you're lucky. Like for an average player. You know, you're looking at those guys that are out of the rotation, on the verge of dropping out the league, and are able to make a name for themselves. Cade Cunningham is a number 1 overall pick. Is not a guy that has been anywhere near to being out the league, out the rotation, anywhere. Yeah. Like, come on. Yes, we can appreciate the glow up he's had and the steps he's made and the leap he's made, especially in the second half of the season. But come on now, let's be real. Like a former number 1 overall pick, it should never, ever, ever be in consideration for most improved player. Like it's just stupid. It's ludicrous.
No, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I think this is going to be a tough series, man. The Knicks never do anything easy. So you know, it's going to be a slog. Like you say, it's going to be testy. There's going to be, there's going to be a couple of altercations, probably in the first game alone. I think Josh Hart's.
Someone setting that tone in game 1 in the Garden. Someone from one player from either side is going to have to set this tone in the series.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, it might be beef stew. I think it's going to be. It's going to be him.
Yeah, it's off that game, 100%.
Oh, mate, it's going to be every game. I think Josh Hart's going to be the first guy to average 50 minutes in a 48-minute game. I think he's just going to play every minute or something. I don't know, but there's nothing like a playoff game at the Garden, man. I've said it before. It's a great venue to play basketball. And if you want to show off your skills and show off what you're all about, doing it in the Garden, mate, is the best place, isn't it? It's the Mecca and all that. I've got the Knicks taking it in Game 7, so I'm kind of going against Rob on the Game 7 thing. But Pistons, we shouldn't be here. Nobody thought we were going to be here, and like you say, playing with that freedom and stuff. And a shout out to Malik Beasley. Great kind of bounce back from him. He's averaging nearly 42% from 3. I think he's like the 4th player in history to hit 300 threes, which is something Clay did. So I mean, this is a legit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he came second in 3 points made, right? Only Anthony Edwards made more threes than Malik Beasley, and he was coming off the bench most of the time. Yeah.
That's mad, mate. That's
crazy.
That's some sharp shooting right there, mate. So you know you're not the focal point of the offense. Oh, you haven't got the ball in your hands a lot, man. But mate, when he gets it, it's flaming, mate. It's a flamethrower right there, isn't it, man? For sure. But yeah, I've got the Knicks. I've got the Knicks taking this one in 7. But it's going to be, as a neutral, mate, it's going to be a really fun series and things like that. So. So move on to the next one, guys. I think. You good for a bit, Rob? Yeah.
Yeah, I can do this one. Then I gotta go.
Oh yeah, no man, all good. So so 4 seeds, Indiana Pacers, 5th seed Milwaukee Bucks. I think we saw this series last year. Pacers kind of taking it out. Bucks a lot of injuries.
There's bad blood between these two as well.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, this is how rivalries start, right? You kind of keep facing each other in the playoffs, kind of year after year. That's kind of how Miami and Boston kind of started, didn't it? You just keep repeatedly facing each other in the playoffs. This is how rivalries start, bro.
Exactly, just keep going up against each other. These two have got bad blood.
No, yes, absolutely. So, Rob, how do you see this one going?
Oh. I mean, it's a 4-5 matchup for a reason. These are the closest teams in this first round, maybe bar Knicks and Pistons. Bucks, I mean, they just haven't had the injury luck, really. I found the Chris Middleton trade baffling mid-season, especially going to get Kyle Kuzma. In what world is Kyle Kuzma an upgrade over Chris Middleton? I don't understand what the Bucks front office are doing. Doc Rivers still has serious questions to answer as a head coach. I was very surprised the Bucks picked him up to replace the head coach they fired about a season and a half ago now, when he was 32-11 or something like that.
Yeah,
I appreciate they weren't playing great basketball, but records don't lie.
True.
Obviously, Dame is only just coming back miraculously from DVT. We consider Wemby's been out with it since the All-Star break.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be at his best. He's not played a game for 3-4 weeks now. So he's not quote unquote game fit. And the thing with the Bucks, we talked about this Knicks. This is a roster that's under pressure. It's an aging roster. Brook Lopez isn't getting any younger. You know, they're obviously in salary cap. They're in that luxury tax. They're not able to make a lot of moves. You know, you got this Pacers team that are young. They are going to run you off the court. These guys, they showed it last playoff. They're not afraid about playing with pace. You know, Tyrese Halliburton will dice you up for 15 assists like it's nothing. Blink and he's got 7. You know, Miles Turner, the ultimate kind of stretch big in a way, can hit the 3, can go inside, can defend the paint. Aaron Neesmith, he's been a really good story since he got traded from Malcolm Brogdon a couple of years ago. He's really developed into a nice player, and in Indiana got the bag as well. You know, Andrew Nemhard, TJ McConnell, these guys, they're feisty. Again, a little bit of like, no one was really expecting the Pacers last year to be as good as they were. They started this year off and everyone went, it's been a hangover from the playoffs. Like, this is a return to the means, yada, yada. And then second half of the season, they've just gone, nah, we are about this. We are legit. So,
yeah.
I'm going with the Pacers in 6. I think as talented as Giannis is, you know, I mean, on his day, he'd get 50. The Pacers, I think, are just too well matched for the Bucks. Like I said, the pace that these guys are going to play with, like you mentioned, Milwaukee, old, aging roster, they're going to be able to take advantage of those mismatches that they're going to be able to get in transition. You know, like I say, I think Indiana just edged Milwaukee in the regular season as well in terms of their individual team-to-team matchups. So
I think the Bucks are 3-1 against them.
Are they?
Yeah, Bucks are 3-1. Yeah.
That's my bad. But you know, just again, I just really like the way Indiana is constructed. I think when you look at these guys, I think Indiana can go deeper into their bench than Milwaukee can. And as much as a person about, you know, everyone talks about shortening the rotation, having only 7-8 guys out there. If you can get those minutes from a 9th man, from a 10th man, you buy those extra minutes of rest for your starters, you know.
Yeah. Well, you can afford to play at that pace then, Rob, can't you, as well? That's just, yeah.
Milwaukee can't go in the playoffs. Milwaukee can't go more than 3 minutes without Giannis on the court. It's as simple as that. Even when Dame's out there, they cannot go more than 3 minutes because everything just falls to pot. So, you know, Chris Middleton was a proven third option, kind of, or second option as he was when he won the chip. Proven second option, can control the offense, can get his own shot, can create for others. You traded him for Kyle Kuzma, who has proven he is not that. So again, I mentioned at the start, I don't know why Milwaukee made that trade. I know Middleton's had health concern, had surgeries.
Yeah.
But I didn't like the trade then, don't like it now. Milwaukee, as I mentioned, same with the Knicks, are under a lot of pressure to win now. You know, there's always the rumblings that Giannis is going to keep asking out because they've gone backwards ever since they won the chip in the year after the bubble. They've just gone backwards. You know, they dealt Drew Holiday for Damian Lillard. They saw Drew, then got traded to the Celtics, won a chip instantly. You know, Giannis, I think Richard Jefferson talked about this. When you've got a player as great as Giannis, you're always on a ticking clock. You're always on a ticking clock because he is good enough to win. He's proven that. Finals MVP, one of the only few players to win MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same season. You know, so you're always on the clock. So the front office are always under pressure to deliver moves. They're going to get them to work. The Damian Giannis combo hasn't really worked yet, and you can point to all the regular season stuff that you want, but it's not worked in the playoffs yet, and that's the definition of success. So that's why I've got the Pacers on 6. That is where I'm going to love you and leave you, boys. Have a good one.
Nice one, Rob. Yeah, cheers for dropping in, bro. Much appreciated, mate. But yeah, we'll catch you again. Hopefully you come on and talk some playoffs on time, bro. But thank you very much for dropping in. So yeah, AB. Are you along with Rob? Do you see the Pacers coming out, or you know, is the best player in the series going to see the Bucks through?
Yeah, no, I'm not with Rob on this one. I'm not with it. I wish he was here, but he's just gone. But yeah, I got the Bucks in this series.
Okay.
You know what? Yeah, I think I'm the right person for this. I think I'm an advocate for stars who are not given their flowers.
Okay.
Speaking as a Sixers fan, I don't think Giannis. I don't think Giannis is really, not that he's not respected. Obviously, he's a champion. He's a champion. Not to bring it up, Matt, but we know what he done. Game 6 against your Phoenix Suns in the NBA Finals. He just went nuclear. I mean, he's been MVP caliber for like at least the last 5 years. I mean, this season, 30 points, 12 rebounds, 6.5 assists.
I don't think people talked about Giannis enough this year, man. He has been incredible this year, mate. Like, for me, it was a 3-horse race. This MVP thing, Giannis this year has been insane, mate. But nobody talks about him. It's all been Shea and Jokic. Yeah. Fair enough, because them two have been incredible. But Giannis this year, mate, the numbers, mate, are ridiculous. He's been really, really good. Like you say, maybe just kind of been disregarded or forgotten about a little bit, bro. Yeah, 100%.
Like, Giannis has a viable point. He can say he's had the best season of his career, like this season, and he's not even in MVP consideration. Like, I don't understand. I really don't understand how. Okay, I know Shea can say the same thing. Jokic averages triple-double. He can definitely say the same thing. But it's just crazy to me how he's just, like, forgotten about it. Like, I don't know what it is. But, yeah, I think in my eyes, I think he's been disrespected heavily. I mean, going into the series, I think he's the best player in the series by far. It's not even close. I don't think it's close at all. Like, and we're forgetting as well. Obviously, the Bucks. Rob spoke about it. Asian roster, the oldest roster in the league currently constructed. Obviously, we spoke about the Middleton trade. It made sense to me as to why they had to move him, because he's basically his health, his body had broken down.
Too many injuries, bro, in it. Yeah,
way too many injuries, man. Bringing in Kuzma is an eyebrow raiser, but I think they'll have too much for the Pacers. We have to remember as well, Giannis has only played 2 playoff games in the last 2 years, you know.
Yeah.
He's played 2 playoff games. The Bucks have had horrible injury luck, spanning 3 years ago when Chris Middleton went down. Obviously, Giannis went down last year as well. So it's they haven't really, and you know, to win a championship, like, things need to start. Everything needs to go in your favor. You need to get like the right amount of luck and things like that, and they just haven't had that luck. But going into the series, I think Giannis is gonna reestablish why he's one of the best players in the league. Reestablish why he should be an MVP consideration. I don't think the Pacers have anybody that can stop him. With all due respect to Miles Turner and those guys there, and I Jackson, guys like that, I don't think they can stop him. The Dame news as well is like miraculous. I mean, kudos to him for making that recovery. I mean, when they said blood clot, obviously we spoke about Wemby, his blood clot. I mean, he was out for the season.
I thought of Chris Bosh. I did, mate. His career was done. The career was over. It was over. All of a sudden, one day, and he never come back, did he? He never made it back. So real concern, isn't it? You know, that kind of when you hear about that.
It's a huge boost. So even like putting basketball aside, like on a personal level, I'm very happy for Dame. Obviously, we know what he brings to the court as well. But to be able to have him at some point during the season and to be able to see him be able to continue to play, hopefully at the level that he has been playing, being the Dame that we know from even back in Portland. So that's going to be a huge boost for them. And I think
what kind of Dame are we getting though, AB? That's my worry. What kind of Dame are we getting? He's been out a while now. You know, is he going to be full go 100%? That'd be my worry, mate. Yeah.
I don't think it'll be 100%, but that's the thing. Like, I think Giannis is still good enough. Like, we've seen when Dame went down, Giannis was obviously carrying the ball. The Bucks' their pace had improved because obviously it was more, Giannis was, you know how Giannis plays, the straight bully ball, getting the ball up the court and things like that. So that kind of play style kind of worked to his benefit and things like that as well. And so, I just think that the Bucks will be able to hold it down while Dame comes out. If he can come back game 4 or game 3 or things like that, I think the Bucks will be able to be in a position where even if he doesn't have to be the Dame that we know, just the threat of Dame alone, I mean, he can be 50%. You're not gonna leave him unguarded on the perimeter anyway.
On, just a sprinkling a Dame, just a sprinkle. That's all we need. Yeah,
exactly. And obviously, this Milwaukee team is the best 3-point. They're shooting the best in the league, like the 38% from free, the best percentage in the league. So they're 3-1 against the Pacers this season. And I think they're gonna win this series. I think Giannis is gonna dominate in this series. I don't think anyone can stop him. Obviously, Siakam has played well against the Bucks. I have to say that he has really played well against them. But I've got the Bucks in 6. I think obviously respect the Pacers. I think the Pacers will get a couple of games. And one thing about I like their depth, as Rob mentioned earlier, in their run last year. Andrew Nembhard and also Aaron Nesmith, they were X factors in that series, important for them last year. And I think they're going to be X factors in this series as well. Even now back in the Bucks, Obviously, if the Pacers are to win this series, I think Andrew Nemhart and Aaron Neesmith, their fingerprints are gonna be all over as to why the Pacers will win that series as well. And also Tyrese Halliburton, obviously the star of the team. One thing I came across that's really interesting is the Pacers. They're 25-3 when Halliburton scores 20 points. I mean, that's unbelievable. That's just 20 points. So he has to be aggressive in this series if the Pacers are to win. He has to look to score the ball. Obviously, we know what he can do as a facilitator, but he has to look to score the ball as well. But albeit, I think the Bucks still have their best player by far. I'm back in the Bucks in 6. Giannis is healthy. Dame hopefully will get healthy as well. And despite the fact that Doc Rivers is their head coach, I think Giannis will dominate. I'm back in the Bucks in 6, man. Giannis, show them who you are, man. Show them who you are. They forgot about you.
Absolutely, man. Show them what you're about. You know who I am. You know what I mean? That's where we're at, man, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I saw your little smirk when Rob mentioned Doc Rivers. I saw the little smirk on your face. I was like, yeah, AB knows. AB knows what we think of Doc Rivers on this pod. So tough one. I mean, this is the hardest one, hard one to call, isn't it? They're the 4-5 for a reason, aren't they? You know, that's the thing, isn't it? I don't know. As amazing as Giannis has been, I'm just worried about what he's got around him here. Bobby Portis, Lopez, they're not getting any younger. And against a team like Indiana, who are just going to be run and gun, it's going to be really tough to do that over, 4, 5, 6, 7, however many games this is going to be. You're really going to trust Kyle Kuzma to be any kind of contributor in this series? That's a worry for me. Kevin Porter Jr., these are guys they've got to rely on in a real way, bro, and that's what worries me about this one. As good as Giannis is and has been, I'm just worried if Giannis, you do you get what you do, what you want, you get what you want, and then we'll limit everybody else. Because can Giannis win a 7-game series on his own? Because the Lillard's a massive question mark, bro, isn't he? What kind of condition is Lillard? Obviously, they're going to clear him, aren't they? And he's going to be, but what kind of Lillard are we getting? A big question mark as well, isn't it? And just think, like 12 months ago, the Bucks had Malik Beasley on their team, and he did nothing. And he's gone to Detroit in the season that he's just had. I mean, Milwaukee could do with that kind of shooting right now, right? That is a definite. That would be a definite plus, but didn't do anything at Milwaukee. In the end, in the playoffs, I don't think played many minutes at all. Probably did because of the injuries that they had in the end, but was kind of a non-factor. After the All-Star break, I think Indiana they kind of stumbled the way really to the season, but I think since the All-Star break, Indiana have been playing really well, really good basketball. Really good. I mean, I do like to take teams in a series where whoever has the best player, because majority of the time, the team with the best player usually wins. But I can't see it, bro. I just can't see. I've got it going 7, mate. I've got the Pistons home court game 7.
Pacers.
Pacers, excuse me. I just think they've got home court and Giannis running up and down that court for 7 games. I just think it's just going to be too much. And then there's going to be real question marks then, mate, about Giannis. If they go out in the first round again, I'd be worried, man, if I was a Bucks fan, mate, because Giannis is going to be like, screw this. I'll get me out of here. I'm done with this. First year exit again? Nah, man. I'd be real worried. I'd be real worried if I was a Bucks fan, bro.
I don't know. This has been a lot of the discourse in the media outlets recently about the Bucks. Giannis is going to go to Miami, this place. I don't know. Giannis is kind of like a loyal guy, man. I feel like, especially with the definitely health is going to be the deciding factor.
Yeah, Luke Cole.
I feel like, just off the top of my head, like, these players from Europe or like international NBA players, they tend to have stronger loyalty to the franchises that drafted them because not that they're not as intertwined in like American culture, but obviously they just come in and like they have a stronger sense of loyalty. Like we've seen Luka obviously the interview that came out the other day with ESPN, how he threw his phone broke after he found out the Mavs were going to trade him. And obviously not to open another can of worms, but just to add context to it, obviously they were saying we don't know if he's going to sign the Supermax in Dallas. We knew he was going to sign the Supermax in Dallas and things like that. Obviously, Giannis has put pressure on the organization to make
But
changes.
if Giannis is just seeing what they've just done to Luka, and you think, you know,
but they're not going to trade Giannis though.
No, I know. Hey, mate, dude, I never thought they'd trade Luka, bro. Like, this is where we're at, bro. I mean, this is where I wouldn't rule out anything right now, mate. Like, this league's mental.
Right.
Like, you know,
you're right. But they're not going to trade. Like, the only reason they trade, I don't think if the Bucks lose in the first round that Giannis goes to ownership and says, "I want out." I just don't see it. Like I said, he hasn't played in 2 years. I think there'll be changes. I think Doc Rivers will be on the chopping block. Like they will have to move things around in the organization. They definitely have to get younger. That they have to Pat Connaughton, Bobby Portis, Brook Lopez.
It's an old, and it's just a bad matchup. We've said it year after year, AB, haven't we? Sometimes you come up against the wrong team, wrong matchup. And I just think this is a bad matchup. Like I said, probably last year, it's a bad matchup for the Bucks, mate. This running gun, young team, they get up and down the floor. Bucks don't want me doing this, mate. They don't want none of this. Like that's the worry with me. It's an old team. When you watch them, it looks like an old team. I mean, Kuzma's obviously they've brought in Kuzma now for Middleton, but it's an old team, mate. It's an old team.
I'm so torn.
It's good. I mean, I've got 7. I'm not saying it's going to be a sweep. Like, it's 7 games.
You brought up value points. I'm just thinking, you know what? Yeah, I think this is going 7 as well. Give me the Bucks in 7.
Changing mid-game, bro.
Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, wherever the pace play. Giannis scores nuclear and they take it in 7.
Do you bet against Giannis in a Game 7 scenario as the other, again, because we've seen it, Giannis, there's not many more frightening things as an opposing fan is playing 7 games against Giannis because it's just a scary proposition, isn't it? He is, and like you say, he's had a great season, but I just see the Pacers edging this one. I just don't think Giannis has enough around him because I don't think. What game is Lillard coming back? Game 3, 4, 5? We don't know, do we? At the moment, we're still kind of question mark, aren't we?
I think he'll come back. I think he'll come back game 4 at least. But if they're, I don't. Yeah, but he needs to. Yeah, they need him back desperately. They need him. That roster.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like Rob said earlier, the kind of Lillard Giannis thing hasn't really panned out like they thought. Probably couldn't have done. Like. When I thought the trade had gone down, I'm like, man, these two as a tandem is going to be a nightmare. It just hasn't, just doesn't seem to have paid off. Like I don't think if you ask the Bucks front office, I don't think it's panned out like they thought it would. But like you say, Giannis, the last couple of years, his season's ended in injury, hasn't it? Which is always a shame. I mean, as this year as a neutral, mate, I just want everybody to be healthy. I want to see the best players out there doing the thing. And there's nothing more exciting than watching Giannis do this thing, mate, because he's just a formidable proposition, isn't he, for anybody? So, but yeah, this one's going to be a fun one, bro. This one, I think, it's going all the way, bro. So, yeah, it's going to be the
first game as well. The first game today as well. Yeah, 6 o'clock UK time. Yeah,
6 p.m. Mate, this is my good slate today, bro. We've got a good slate today, man. Who've we got after? Nuggets, Clippers, Timberwolves, Lakers, Knicks, Pistons, game 1. Bring it. Let's go. This is it, mate. This is what it's about. Great weekend, mate. Just wall-to-wall basketball. Love it. Absolutely love it, man. This is it. So, so that's done for the East, man. So we move on to
the Wild Wild West. Oh, man.
I'm sure we say this every year, but the West is an absolute, this is going to be tasty. And there are some tasty first-round matchups. Obviously, got to start with the number 1 seed, of course. OKC Thunder, fantastic season. against Grizzlies, who won the playoff last night, quite convincing in the end, really, against Dallas. I think the Mavs just wanted the season to be over.
Yeah.
just get me out of here kind of thing. And, the Grizz kind of saw that out. So, AB, do you see any... Can you make a case for the Grizzlies, or are the Thunder going to make short work of this one?
Oh man, you see me personally, I've liked the Grizzlies, the way they've gone about things. I know they're very hit and miss. A lot of people didn't like the antics. Obviously, I can't defend the drama around off the court stuff. On the court, I think he's amazing. He's amazing. Obviously, he really struggled this season with the offensive scheme that Taylor Jenkins wanted to implement. I think that ultimately led to his firing as well. But I think the Grizzlies, they've been obviously barring, was it last year they won the lottery? Last year they just had crazy injuries. I mean, they fielded at the time an NBA.
They had the season from hell last year, didn't they?
Yeah,
everything just went wrong, didn't it?
Yeah. Like they had at the time they had played the most different starting lineups and most NBA players in NBA history, like different players and stuff. Until my Sixers this season, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, they just had bad injury luck. Like previously, before that, multiple 50-win seasons, 2 seed. I'm old enough to remember as well. They beat the Warriors in a play-in a couple years ago, like 3-4 years ago, knocked them out in the playoffs. John Morant went crazy that game. I think he dropped like 35 points, hit a few threes. So I've always liked the team. I've liked Jaren Jackson Jr. as much as he frustrates me as hell, being a 7-foot guy and averaging like 6 rebounds.
He doesn't even average 6, mate. He averages like 5.5 rebounds. Get out of here.
I thought I'd ride up for him, but yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
I was watching him in that play-in the other night against the Warriors. I'm like, mate, get on the glass, man. Come on. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. I mean, that's why they drafted Zach Edey. They just went in the draft and said, "You're 7'4". Yeah, come and play with Jaren.
Give me the biggest guy. Give me the biggest guy in the draft. That's That's my guy. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I've always liked the team, and it's been an unfortunate season for them. I just feel like they just need veteran leadership. They just need someone to come in there. Like I thought Jimmy Butler would have been a great acquisition for them, but I don't know what it is about Memphis. Just players just don't want to go there. Like even I know I'm going back a few years. I remember Iguodala got bought. I think he got traded there, and he said, "I'm not going to play here." Before he retired, and just stuff like that. So yeah. I've liked the team. It's just that they just haven't got it together. And in the NBA, windows are very, 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 very short, very small. Obviously, my team and your team can attest to that because he was in the finals a few years ago. Like our team, we had like a couple number 1 picks. We was going to be the best thing since sliced bread. I look at us now on a podcast. Both our teams couldn't even make the play-in. So it just goes to show, like, NBA windows are very small. Like the Grizzlies, it's crazy because the Grizzlies were the Thunder a few years ago, this young upcoming team. You had Ja Morant, you had them dancing and stuff like that. And that's how the Thunder are right now. You see the post-game interviews, you see Chet, J-Dub, J-Will, Shea. So yeah, it just goes to show like the Grizzlies, they should be looking across the court, looking at the Thunder and be like, listen, we were those guys. We were supposed to be those guys, but it hasn't panned out that way. So
things change a lot in a couple of years, bro, don't they? Like, it's mad, isn't it? They were like going to be. They're probably like where OKC are now. We're like Grizzlies like 2 years ago, kind of like 100%.
They were the team like all the NBA. They were the NBA darlings. Like all the like people that had obviously that root for a team. They were like, okay, I like the Grizzlies and stuff like that. But yeah, obviously moving on to OKC. I mean, what can we say about them? Like the best team in the league. They've just blown this season out of the water. I mean, that Caruso trade in the offseason, like when they made that trade, I was like, yeah, if this team isn't going to be the best defensive team in the league, I don't know what. And obviously, they've proven that to be. Shea, he's just been unbelievable. He's just been, obviously, in my opinion, obviously, people are going to say I'm hating because I'm a Sixers fan in this MVP, but I think that's my MVP. I know Jokic averaged a triple-double. I know, but like Shea, it's not
the wrong answer, bro. It's not the wrong answer. Like,
yeah. I mean, they've been quick. They've blown out the wind, blown out the water. I think just the one dot on their season which really like kind of rubbed you the wrong way was the NBA Cup showing against the Bucks, in which they failed to even crack 100 points. So yeah, that was really disappointing. And Jalen Williams, he's someone who kind of struggled when I've seen OKC in the playoffs in games that really mattered. He's really struggled in my eyes. He struggled in the NBA Cup game, which is the next closest thing to the playoffs. Obviously, another high stakes game with something on the line. He's really struggled. So
struggled in Dallas series last year, didn't he?
Yeah, struggled as well.
Mm-hmm.
Chet's missed some time, but I think for OKC because at the end of the day, this team is a team that wants to win it all. If that has to happen, I think Chet has to be their second best player. But I think this is going to be an interesting matchup. You know what? I think another key thing, obviously, he's got a wrist injury. He's got a wrist injury.
Rolled his ankle as well, didn't he? In the Warriors, well, he didn't look too bad last night with that dunk. To be fair,
exactly.
But something to monitor, isn't it, going forward?
Like he's had a couple of injections as well, so that's going to struggle. Like,
yeah.
I really want to. Not that I want to back the Grizzlies. I know OKC are winning this series. Let's get this one thing on. But I'm trying to warm up to the idea to try and see if the Grizzlies can make this much of a series, and that can't happen if Ja Morant is not 100%. It can't happen if Ja Morant is not 100%. I think the size of the Grizzlies in the front court is going to cause Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren some problems with Zach Edey and Jaren Jackson Jr. Scottie Pippen Jr. He's been really good this season. He's been really good. He's proven to be an NBA player.
Because he was on the fringe at one stage, wasn't he? Where really it was like, is he going to be in the league much longer? But he had, and he plays meaningful minutes for that Grizzlies team, doesn't he? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Jalen Wells has been really good as well. I mean, I remember one game against he was matched up against Steph Curry earlier this season, and he just put I said, well, that was when I was like, whoa, who is this guy? Like, who is he? So they've got some nice pieces, but OKC obviously they're going to win this series.
Is Wells out though? Sorry, he's out now, isn't he?
Is he out? He's out.
Yeah, he broke his wrist. He had that tough fall, didn't he, a couple of weeks ago, man? Which is a shame. That could be a big loss for him, couldn't it? As well, you know.
He was tied off.
But no, he had a great year though. He had a really good year, didn't he? For sure. But, sorry, carry on, bro.
I'm just give me OKC in 5. Grizzlies will take a game. I want to say 6, but I just can't. I have to be realistic. I have to think with like my brain and not my heart. I think the Grizzlies will take a game, but I just think OKC will have too much for them. Ja Morant, he just needs to get healthy because Desmond Bane, and even though as well as he's been playing, it's going to be too much for them. Especially when you got Lou Dort, you got Jay Will, you got all these guys on the perimeter.
They got players on that team, mate, who play like 12 minutes a game. Who you think, man, if that guy was on another team like Wallace or somebody like that guy's playing like 25 minutes a game on some other teams, mate. That guy like comes in, flies around for like 12 minutes a game, and just man, they're deep. They're so deep. This team, aren't they, man?
They're so incredibly deep. So OKC. Give me OKC in 5. I think the Grizzlies take a game.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of 2 teams in the West that don't have a coach. The Grizzlies. We've got another team coming up soon who haven't got a coach, which is a bizarre. Well, not no coach, but they got rid of their coach, haven't they? So that's going to be a question point, for the Grizzlies. But they made it through the play-in. Fair enough. I mean, they ran the Warriors tough. That was a close game, wasn't it, the other night? And people were high on the Warriors as well. So but the Morant injury is something you're definitely going to have to look after. And OKC, like you say, 68 games, man. That's not to be sniffed at. They've walked this season, haven't they? They've dominated most. Like you say, the play-in was a bit disappointing. But apart from that, they've beaten everybody, haven't they? Pretty much. It's just and Shea's had a magnificent year. Statistically, one of the best guard seasons in NBA history, and could end up being the MVP. That's another debate, but I'm not going to be shocked if he hits the MVP. Put it that way, he's been fantastic. The team, like I say, they addressed the issues that made them lose to Dallas in the last series last year. They addressed those things, didn't they? Hartenstein, then bringing in a couple of other guys, and it's like, oh God, that it's what they managed to do is rebuild with youth, but also having that cornerstone as well. I mean, that's the dream as a GM to to be in that position, kind of what the Celtics did, to still be good but rebuilding at the same time. I mean, that's the dream, mate. That's and have a lot of draft capital as well.
Mate, they might take our pick.
Yeah,
we have to
that's the dream, bro. As an NBA GM, that is the dream on how you build a team. Is you build with youth, you have a cornerstone player, franchise player, and you have ultimate draft capital as well. That is the dream right there, and that's how they've done it. They haven't cheated their way through trading for big players, trying to cheat the system. They've kind of done it right, and that's how you build a team and stuff. And they've had a fantastic year. The Grizz, I just, anybody who can kind of make a case for the Grizzlies in this one, they're a better man than me, mate. I just don't see it. Like you say, Jackson, watching Jackson's a tough watch. Too many threes, settles for threes. Doesn't seem he wants to kind of do the dirty work for me. It's tough to watch. But Baines had a good year, man. Like you say, Baines had a decent year. But the Morant injuries are a worry. I've got this. It's a sweep, bro, for me. I'm taking OKC in a sweep. Luke in the chat as well, I think, because he has. Yeah, has he got OKC in a sweep? Yeah, he got OKC in a sweep as well. So get them brooms out, mate. Get the brooms out, mate. It's going to be an early exit for the Grizzlies, I'm afraid. But yeah, I think the tastier matchups for OKC are coming later on in the playoffs. I think. Yeah. But yeah, so that's the end of that one. So moving on, talking a tasty. Now we're getting down to it, bro. We got, hey, mate. We've had this kind of matchup in the playoffs, mate, for years upon years. The old guard, the old staple, been the face of the league kind of franchise player against the young, upstarting, young up-and-coming team. So we got the Houston Rockets as the second seed against 7th seed Golden State Warriors. Reminds me of the old OKC LA Lakers when Kobe was on the Lakers, kind of Durant, Westbrook on OKC. It kind of reminds me of that a little bit. Not that Houston have probably got those kind of players, but just like that youth versus the old guard kind of series. So I'm sure you've got thoughts on this one, AB. So try to divulge this one, because I think a lot of people, I think Warriors are favourites to take this series, mate, being the 7th seed. So do you agree with that, man, or are you taking the young guns to take it?
Man, I'm looking forward to this. This is one of the series. The West, I'd hate to root for a team in the West, man. I don't know how you do it, man, because this is just a blood, man. You got to go through. Oh, man.
Dude, this should be a trophy for making the finals, let alone winning the finals, bro.
Oh, my God. You got 48 win teams in the play-in. This is crazy. I'd hate to root for a team out West, man. It's just so difficult. I'm looking at these matches, I'm thinking, damn.
You had two 48-win teams in the play-in. Like, it's nuts, bro. Come on. Yeah, man. It's a tough one. It's tough out there. It's tough here out West, man. Tough here out West.
I don't know how you do it, man. It's so tough. Yeah, this is one of the series I'm looking forward to, man. I mean,
it's tasty, isn't it, man?
We spoke about the Pistons earlier, and they obviously rise from 14 wins to making the 6th seed. Obviously, the Rockets. I remember last season they were on a crazy win streak. They were chasing the Warriors for that last spot in the play-in.
They were.
And they nearly got it, but they just missed out. And that's when I knew, okay, next season they're gonna do big things. And then I didn't expect it to be this big. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, I saw them being a 2 seed. I knew they'll be in the mix, but this season they've just been brilliant.
I just thought they'd be in the play-in. I thought, they'll be in the play-in next year. Not second seed. Second seed.
52 wins. Crazy.
Great job by Udoka, man. Great job.
Yeah, Udoka. I mean, he's a good coach. Who knew? Obviously, it's not because of his lack of great coaching. That's the way he left the Celtics.
A little extracurricular activities there, bro. I think, isn't it, right?
But yeah, great coach. Rockets. Great young team. But they also have guys with playoff experience. They're not the main guys on the roster, but obviously you're Dylan Brooks, Fred VanVleet. He knows what it takes to go. That guy looks Stephen Clay in the face in the finals 2019, and some guys were saying he was the best light skinned player in the finals. I don't know. That's what some guys were saying. So yeah, obviously he's not the same Fred VanVleet, but I'm sure. Yeah, obviously Steven Adams as well, playoff experience. But yeah. The Rockets.
I think they've got Uncle Jeff Green on there as well, man. He's got to be like 48 years old or something. Unbelievable.
Crazy.
Yeah, 38, man. Uncle Jeff Green, veteran presence. Love that.
Fair enough, man. Still in the league.
Yeah, man. Keep getting them checks, Jeff. Keep getting them checks, bro.
But yeah, great young roster with playoff experience as well. Amen Thompson, evil twin. That's what they call him. I mean, his athleticism, he's just unbelievable, man.
So, mate, some of the games I've seen him play this year is unbelievable. Like, it's just flying around and stuff. It's unreal.
Him on Steph, I can't wait. I don't know if that will be the exclusive matchup, but I know down the stretch they're 100% putting Amen Thompson on Steph, and I can't wait to see what that matchup looks like. Yeah. I think it'll be a steady diet of Amen Thompson, a bit of Dylan Brooks. Just those point of attack defenders. I think there was a game where he held him to like 1 of 10 shooting. I think this month when they played earlier this month.
Yeah.
So yeah, crazy.
Was that the game? Was that the game where Udoka was jarring Steph on the sideline?
I think it might have been that game.
Fantastic.
Yeah, crazy.
Calling Steph a crybaby. I mean, I'm here for all of that. I'm here for all of that. Give me it. Come on. Love that.
This is going to be an amazing playoff season. I mean, obviously, you've got the Warriors. Playoff Jimmy, he's in form. Playing Jimmy, he's going to transit. I mean, I don't know how he does this every year. He'll coast through the regular season. As soon as they mention him, this is a playoff game. Like, he just clicks in another gear, and it's just
literally.
Amazing.
He's just like, we're going to DEFCON 3. It's time.
Crazy.
Let's go. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable. Playoff Jimmy. We've seen it, haven't we, AB? We've seen it year after year, bro.
After year. It's crazy. But yeah, one thing that does concern me is we touched on this earlier when they played the Grizzlies is the Warriors' lack of size. I mean, obviously, Draymond Green, Davis, I mean,
got killed on the boards, didn't they? Grizzlies absolutely manhandled them, didn't they? Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Zach Edey's not the most polished offensive player, but they'll just dump in the ball to him and ask him to do something. But now, if you're going to do that and you're going to dump the ball to Sengun and like a Steven Adams, that's going to cause the Warriors real problems. Real problems that lack of size is going to really affect them. How are they going to cope? And Ime's experimented. He's played both Steven Adams and Sengun in some lineups. So I'm looking forward to see how that looks and how the Warriors counteract with that and how they'll deal with that, because that's going to cause them a lot of problems. Rockets lead the league in rebounding, averaging just under 49 rebounds a game. And they lead the league in second chance points with 18 points per game. So that's going to be... So that combined with the Warriors' lack of size is going to be something I have my eye on and something that's going to cause them a lot of problems. But like I said, I mean, something that reminds me as well, before I touch on, obviously, the Warriors and their roster, this series reminds me of when the Warriors played the Kings. When the Kings... That year, when the Kings that year I made that prediction, they're gonna make the playoffs. Like
the beam, maybe. Yeah, man.
Obviously, they made the playoffs. They took the Warriors to 7, and then Steph dropped like 50 in that game 7. But they had young guys, obviously Fox, Monk, Keegan Murray, Sabonis. So that's giving me that kind of vibes of this young team, great story coming up against the Warriors. They're not obviously the Warriors are heavily favored. They're going to have, in a sense, nothing to lose. I know the Rockets are the 2 seed, but nothing to lose, and they're just going to play free basketball. So I think they're going to cause them problems. And in the end, I think this is going to go 7 as well. I think it's going to go 7. I'm taking the Warriors in that game 7 because obviously I'm not counting out Steph Curry in the game 7. I'm not counting out Jimmy Butler in the game 7. But I think the Rockets are going to give this a good goal. I think they're going to cause them numerous problems between like Jalen Green and their defense. I think they've got guys that have size as well. Tari Eason, that's a good defender. Obviously, Dylan Brooks, spoke about Amen Thompson as well. We spoke about VanVleet. But yeah, I think they're going to go 7 and they're just not going to have enough. Because when it comes to these game 7s, man, you know it, man. You got someone like Steph Curry on your team. You got like a Jimmy Butler on your team. It's going to be hard to really counteract that because they're going to reach heights that you have never seen before. So give me the Warriors in 7. I'm looking forward to this series. I think it's going to be great. Big up the Houston Rockets and what Ime Udoka has done. And Warriors in 7.
Yeah. No, like you say, AB, this is going to be it's going to be spicy. This one. They faced each other a couple of weeks ago, and it got very testy out there. Udoka's yelling at Curry on the sideline in the press conference, calls him a crybaby. I'm here for all of that. I mean, Udoka don't care, mate. That guy jawed LeBron once when they were playing the Lakers. Like, that guy has absolutely zero F's given. He doesn't care. I love it. I don't care who you are, mate. Like, it's brilliant. I love it. I'm here for all of that, mate. And that's how Udoka is. He's a very no-nonsense guy, and he done a fantastic job at Houston, for sure. Yep. I didn't see him getting this high. I think you said it, didn't you? Anybody who said they were going to be in the top 2 in the West, especially in the West as well, like you said, it's a freaking bloodbath out here, man. So yeah, to finish second out of this season is a fantastic achievement. But a little bit of nobody believes in this kind of thing. Everybody's picking the Warriors just to the track record, bro. Steph and Draymond, they've been there, haven't they? They've done it and things like that. So it's going to be a tough ask for them. But they've got young, energetic players who can fly around. They've got a lot of people who can chuck at Curry and Butler. They've got Dylan Brooks, Thompson. Van Vliet's been in a lot of big games, former champ, against the Warriors, the old guard. Yeah. Not a great performance in the play-in, really, against the Grizzlies. I think they should have won that game comfortably, but the Grizzlies made a game of it. So, there's a lot of players when you look down the stretch in fourth quarters and you look at the Warriors and you're like, there's a lot of players on this floor right now who I don't think are going to want to shoot a great deal. But maybe that's it. They've got Gary Payton Jr. out there and things. And what's happened to Kuminga?
Kuminga, yep. He's had like DMPs the last few games. I mean, that's
the coach's decision. Like, it's almost that he's done in Golden State. That's it. It's over. Like, they've almost just cleared him out. It's like, no, he's not involved. Yeah. They could really do with him because I think, as a kind of third kind of scorer, if you've got Kuminga averaging 15, 16 points a game as your third guy, then, that's only a good thing. Well, you know what, Kerr, once he makes a decision, that it's done, isn't it? We've seen it before. So,
sorry, the Olympics.
Exactly. once he makes the decision, mate, like, it's over. Like, no, he's over there and stuff.
Yeah,
so that's a head scratcher, that one. And if they lose, people are going to ask even more questions, for sure. It's is this a 2-7?
Oh my god,
2-7, and it's like, this is a tough one to call.
Rockets.
I think I've gone Warriors in 6. I thought it definitely might go 7. I can see it going 7, but this is going to be a great series to watch. There's so many talking. I just think with the Rockets, they haven't got that guy who they can chuck the ball with 3 minutes to go in a tight game and say, get us a bucket. Who's that guy on their team? I don't think they've got it. And I think that's what's going to be the difference, because Warriors have got 2 guys on their team who can do that. I think that's what it's going to boil down to. Rockets don't have that guy. It's not Jalen Green, that's for sure.
No.
I don't think it's him. I mean, Van Vliet's hit a lot of big shots in his time, which is fair enough. So, but I've got Warriors in 6, man. But I can make a case for any scenario in this one, mate. So, but damn, it's going to be fun to find out how this one pans out, man. For sure.
One more thing I was going to say. Obviously, these teams, for Rockets, it's a different era, but these teams have had a lot of playoff matchups previously, back to the Harden Rockets and things like that. And quite famously, there's been tweets of Daryl Morey where he's just congratulating the Warriors every year for beating the Rockets in the playoffs. I remember that game. Was it that game 7 where they missed, like, how many straight threes did the Rockets miss? They missed like 14 straight threes or something like that.
Against
the Warriors.
Oh, in the game 7.
Yeah. They missed like
18 something.
Yeah, something like that. So, in terms of like the franchises, obviously the Warriors have just had the Rockets' number, like spanning multiple years, man. Even
but
that year when
Curry saw that team off, and now he's seen Houston again with a completely new team, a completely new generation of players. He saw them off, and now they're back again for another go around. And he's like, okay, bring it. We've seen Steph do it, haven't we, man? He's done, like you say, that Game 7 Kings 50 burger just took the Kings' soul, and all of a sudden it was over. So could you see doing it again? Why the hell not? I'm here for it, mate. I'm here for a Game 7 with Steph Curry. Absolutely, But it's going to be fun finding out, man, on that one. So we go from one spicy encounter to another. I would say. You know what I mean? What's happening here? The hits just keep on coming. We got 3rd seed LA Lakers with their new shiny franchise player for the next 10, 15 years in Luka, the trade that shocked the world, against a team who made the conference finals last year, Minnesota Timberwolves, led by that bad man, Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards. This is another one I went back on 4th one, AB. I mean, this one is going to be it's box office in it, right?
All these series, this is going to be crazy. I mean, Luka's first playoff series with LeBron James, remember JJ Redick's first playoff series as a coach. I mean, there's just so much. The Timberwolves obviously haven't made the conference finals, coming back. This is going to be crazy, man. This is going to be crazy.
It's going to be good. This is going to be good, man. This is going to be good. Is there a more scarier prospect, AB, than coming up against Luka and LeBron in the playoff series? I mean, I don't know what to say. It's a scary prospect, mate. You limit one guy and then the other guy's there as well. It's they are very ball dominant, but man, so you could have a situation where every game you have at least LeBron James or Luka Doncic on the floor at all times. It's a scary prospect, right?
Crazy, just scary, man. And one person who'd hate to see the side of Luka is Rudy Gobert, man, because he's been torturing that guy. He's been torturing that guy since he was in Utah. Those switches, man.
Yeah.
When Luka tells us to come in and that pick and roll gets switched and he's on an island, he's not gonna know what to do, man.
Yeah. Licking his chops, mate. There we go. Come over here, son. Come over here. Let me see it. You know what I mean? Oh God, yeah. So, 3rd seed Lakers making that big move, similar to what Dallas did in terms of making a late move. And they made it all the way to the finals with Luka. So who do you think's gonna win this series? Can you see it going all the way to 7, or do you think it might be over a bit earlier than that?
I could definitely see this going 7 for sure, because the teams are somewhat matched well. I think it's gonna be a tough series, man. It's gonna be really, really tough. The Timberwolves, they have great depth, is what I'd say. They have much better depth than the Lakers. Got guys like Naz Reid, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Dante DiVincenzo as well.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the Lakers have the top. Lakers have the best player. Obviously, they have the best player in the series. It's all up to Anthony Edwards. I mean, Anthony Edwards is just going to have to go nuclear for the Timberwolves to win this series. Like, the Timberwolves can definitely win this series. A lot of ifs have to go their way. Can Anthony Edwards navigate that Lakers defensive pressure? Obviously, they're going to be looking to blitz him for sure. Can he make the right reads? One thing that scares me, though, is some of the teammates around him, especially Julius Randle. I mean, Julius Randle in the playoffs, he's been nothing.
It's a big question.
Horrible.
Big question mark, isn't it?
He has to step up. He has to step up. He's in a contract year. He has to slay his playoff demons, man. He has to be able to supplement Anthony Edwards with some scoring, with some facilitating as well, because they're going to look to get the ball out of Anthony Edwards' hand. And with Julius Randle, we know for his position, he's a very good, he's above average playmaker. He needs to be able to make the right reads, needs to be able to hit his shots, needs to be able to have a good shot selection to be able to supplement that Timberwolves offense. But like I said, they do have good depth. DiVincenzo, he can knock down some shots. Playoff proven as well. And they kill Alexander Walker. Najee's going to be big for them as well, man. You talk about a big body who's going to have some time matched up against Bron, possibly. I think Julius Randle's going to have that Bron matchup to start off the series, given that obviously his size and his physicality and things like that. But it's gonna be a tough one for the Timberwolves, man. On the Lakers side of things, I'm looking forward to it, man. I mean, Doncic, we've mentioned about his success on Gobert and things like that, on switches and things like that, and he's going to be hunting those. One thing that I would say that Luka loves, but he's not going to have as such, obviously, especially moving to the Lakers, is that lob threat. Obviously, Jackson Hayes has proven to be that guy, but they don't really have anyone else, which kind of takes a bit out of Luka's game, to be fair. But I think he'll be able to. I think he should be able to dominate, man. I think he's going to dominate. But I've got the Lakers in this series. Give me the Lakers in 5, man. Give me the Lakers in 5.
5. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, man. I just think that the way JJ Redick. I mean, there's been a lot of question marks around JJ Redick when he first got the Lakers job. The fact that he had no experience and stuff like that. But that guy is a basketball sicko, man. Like, he's gonna be running stuff that's never been seen before. He's gonna be running actions. I mean, again, when they beat the Nuggets, I think he said he hasn't stepped in like 3 days prepping the game plan or something like that. And it's a regular season game. That guy, he's gonna be plotting like crazy stuff. And obviously, LeBron, what more can we say, man? What more can we say about LeBron that hasn't been said now that he has Luka to supplement him? I want it to go longer, the series definitely, but I just think that they'll have too much for the Timberwolves, man. I mean, I just think they'd have too much. Yeah. Lakers in 5.
Lakers in 5, man. Yeah.
Lakers in 5.
I mean, for it to go 7, mate, Edwards is going to have like one of the greatest series of probably the last decade.
Yeah. And Julius Randle. He's going to have his best playoff run ever.
Yeah. And apparently, Julius Randle's shooting percentage in the playoffs is 34%. So it's like 28% from 3. I mean, it's rough. It's rough, bro. It's rough. But he has been playing well since the All-Star break, Randle. So maybe. But like you say, we've seen Randle. But Randle probably has got the same questions as Towns had last year, and Towns answered those critics, and he had a really good playoff run, didn't he, for the Timberwolves? But ended up getting traded anyway. But Towns he answered a lot of doubters because I mean we've seen Towns, some playoff performances have been very, very lackluster and not very good. But yeah, there's definitely question marks. There's probably more question marks on Minnesota's side than there is the Lakers side. X factor is going to be for the Lakers. Is going to be them kind of fringe guys, Vincent, Finney Smith, Hachimura, and they've just got that big 2, man. That big 2 is such a frightening proposition.
And Austin Reeves as well. We got to show Austin Reeves some love.
And so if Reeves has a good series as well, then the Lakers are going to be tough to beat, man, aren't they? For sure.
He's going to have a lot to say about this series. I think,
the worry for the Lakers is probably lack of size. I mean, if Gobert doesn't average 15 rebounds a game in this series, man, then I don't know what you're doing. Then he's, they're pulling him out. They're pulling him out of the paint, which the Lakers will try to do with Luka and stuff. But he should be averaging at least 12, 13 rebounds a game in this series. Gobert should, man. For me, he should dominate the glass in this series, man. Because that's the worry on the Lakers is the lack of size. With Naz Reid as well, Timberwolves could go big. They could go big against the Lakers and try to out muscle them and try to just get loads of bigs and try and make it maybe a bit of a dirtier series. You've got to try to do something against Luka. I think we've seen previously. Luka has a short temper. Get in his grill, pick him up full court because he doesn't like it. He doesn't like if anybody's near him or anything. And all time kind of crybaby when it comes to moaning to the refs about stuff, but you've got to make it uncomfortable for them, bro, haven't you? Because if you make it with it, they're comfortable, it's over, isn't it? It's good night Vienna, as they say. So that it's going to be a real tough task for Minnesota. But I think Minnesota, since the All-Star break, have been playing really well, and they've had some good wins. But I just can't see. You can't see past LeBron and Luka, man. It's such a as Chris Finch. How do you start? Where do you start? We're trying to keep these two quiet. You've got to try and keep one quiet, and I don't think you're going to be able to do it. It's such a tall task. It's going to be a real tough task to. I mean, who's guarding Luka? Is going to be. It's probably Jaden McDaniels, right?
Yeah, McDaniels will be on Luka.
So who's guarding LeBron? Randall.
Randall. I think Ant might spend some time. Obviously, Ant's not going to spend a majority of time guarding, but Ant's going to take that matchup. But obviously, you can't have your star player just exclusively guarding LeBron or Luka for extended period of time.
Yeah.
But
The thing I've been worried about Lakers maybe going forward in the playoffs is, Luka and what's the other guy's name? Who did you just say? The third guy?
Reeves. Austin Reeves.
Reeves, sorry. Not great defensively. So if you've got both of them on the court at the same time, that's going to be a tough one. Tough one for that. But I think in this series, I think I've got Lakers as well, like you, mate. But I've gone Lakers in 6. I think Ant-Man.
Okay, yeah.
I think I can see Ant-Man taking a couple of these games at home. I've got Lakers in 6, taking it out. But a shame. I feel sorry for Minnesota because I think they're just coming up against an all-time tandem, aren't they? So it's going to be a tough ask for them guys. But
do you think there's anything? Because obviously, not to bring more grief to you, Matt, but obviously they matched up against the Suns. It was the first round, right? And obviously that was a sweep. But that was another series where we was like, okay, this is going to be tight match because obviously you got Book, KD, all these guys on one side.
True.
And then you got Ant-Man and Jaden McDaniels, and they just like Jaden McDaniels on KD. I mean, they just nullified them basically. It wasn't even close. So you think there's any aspects that they can take from that game, that series, and implement in the Lakers to possibly cause an upset? Or what did you see from the Timberwolves that you think going up against this Lakers team would be?
I mean, it's. I don't think that this Lakers team are the Suns of last year. That's for sure. I think they're better coached for one. That's definite. When you see things are happening early on, you're like, right, okay, so we're adjusting. There was no adjusting from Vogel. It was like, well, this is it. Roster construction as well. I think that there's a better second unit on the Lakers than the Suns had, for sure. I mean, Ant was ridiculous, wasn't he, in that series against us? He just took our soul, basically. It was just like, I am the best player on the floor, and I'm going to show you why. I don't know, mate. I just can't see it, AB. I just can't see it. I'm trying to think of something to say to kind of like make it. I mean, 6 games. It's a competitive series. Yeah. Because Ant-Man is that good, and I'm worried who's guarding Ant on the Lakers. Who's going to be that guy? That's because Luka ain't doing it. Reeves ain't doing it either. So who's it going to be? Is it Finney Smith? Is he on the?
Yeah. Probably Finney Smith. Probably
Hachimura.
They'll probably put Rui on him for some time.
Yeah. Well, if I'm Ant-Man and I've got them two, it's barbecue chicken, mate. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's your argument, mate. Who have they got to guard Ant? Is probably there's your argument, bro. As to maybe they can turn it around. Who is that? Who is that guy to guard? Just having a look at the roster, bro. Who are we saying?
Probably Finney Smith. Finney Smith will probably have that assignment.
Yeah. So okay, if I'm Ant-Man, I'm like, okay, these are the players you're going to chuck at me. What, you're going to chuck Gabe Vincent? Hello. You know, it's give me
But
the
that's why
ball.
they'll
Then.
be looking to blitz him, though. That's why they'll be looking to blitz him.
Yeah. So then
he's going to see different coverages.
Yes. So it's whoever's open, like you said earlier, has made the most threes this year. So he's definitely changed his game a lot. So he's a dual threat then now, isn't he? It's three, and it's also
three-level scorer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And how much are we asking him to do defensively? That kind of dual load. How much are we asking him to do on the defensive end as to how much he's going to have available on the defensive end? But yeah, Randall is the big question mark. He's got to have a good series because Ant-Man's going to be Ant-Man, and it's whoever's coming with him. Have they got enough? Naz Reid's pretty solid, isn't he? DiVincenzo's going to have to be a spark off the bench. So yeah, it's going to be a competitive series, and damn, it's going to be fun watching as a neutral because there's so much talent on offense on both sides, isn't there? But it's a tall order for Minnesota, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, man. But yeah, I think the Lakers. I mean, Bron and Luka, man. Like, what are we doing here? All respect to Anthony Edwards. Like, come on, man.
This is like 2K stuff, man. This is it's like, oh yeah, let's put these two together, and and like I say, great first season by JJ Redick as well, man. Shout out to JJ.
Yeah, shout out JJ Redick.
A lot of raised eyebrows. Never been a coach before, and you're coaching the Lakers. Always a pressure when you're a Lakers, and you have LeBron as well. But LeBron and Redick, probably two of the greatest basketball IQ people in the business. It's probably very easy to say, isn't it? I mean, if you've ever listened to the podcast last year, you see you listen to him talk about stuff, and you're just like, some of it goes over my head, bro. Some of it ridiculous. So, like you say, has he slept in the last week? Maybe not. We'll see game one how much he's been sleeping, bro. By Howie Luke say. Well, it's going to be fun to find out, man, for sure. So, any more on that one, bro? Well, can we move on?
Yeah, we can move on. We can move on.
Okay, we go from one tasty matchup to probably another tasty matchup. This is where we're going. This is
what I'm looking forward to the most. I think this series is the one that but then I don't know.
Go.
There's just so much.
4-5 matchup's always a tough one, but this one is has so many storylines, so many question marks. I've been going back and forth on this one. So 4 seed Denver Nuggets, 5th seed LA Clippers. Nuggets, the second team that's made the playoffs in the West that fired the coach. What was it? 2 weeks ago? Denver fired the coach. A head scratcher, getting rid of their championship winning coach
and the GM. And the GM.
And they just literally just cleaned house. Just like
cleaned house.
We're getting this is something that you do the day after your season ends, not a week before you go into the playoffs. Absolute madness. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, great. I mean, I've never seen anything like it until 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks before that. Like, I've never seen anything like that. And then, it's crazy.
Mate,
and apparently,
sorry, go on, bro.
Just reading the reports, apparently Malcolm Malone didn't take it well. Like, he was fuming.
He was.
Crazy.
Yeah, no. I mean, we've seen some things this year. I mean, and the playoffs haven't even started yet. We've seen some. I mean, anybody who'd said by the end of this season, Luka's not going to be on the Mavs at the start of the season, you'd have been committed, mate. Like, so the things we've seen this year, and that was a shocker. When I saw about Mike Malone, there was rumors that things weren't great between GM and coach. But usually you make a choice, don't you? You either go one way or the other. And the Denver ownership were just like, I'm done with all of you. Get out. All of you. We're done.
That's crazy.
So the Nuggets are entering the playoffs with a different coach than when they started the season. But apparently it wasn't a great atmosphere to work in by the sounds of it, the Nuggets. So are they best kind of cleaning house now? Is always is a question that really you shouldn't be asking, but they had to. Nuggets have the best player in the league. I think that's pretty safe to say. I mean, the season that Jokic has had, bro, is one of the greatest seasons by any player ever. To finish in the top 3 in points, rebounds, and assists, bro.
As a centre.
As a center, is just mind-boggling in today's NBA, especially as well. It's just ridiculous. And without Jokic being on that team, where is this Denver team finished? Where would they have finished if you didn't have Jokic? They're not even in the play-in, bro.
No,
they're not even in the play-in, bro. They're in the Cooper flag stakes, and that's why. You're going back what you said earlier, AB. That's why Jokic is my MVP this year. Because you take him off this team, and they are nowhere, bro. You take Shea off OKC, I think they're still in the mix. That's the difference for me, and that's what it come down to for me personally. But Jokic this year has been ridiculous, absolutely crazy. But going to this series, the Clippers. I mean. The question mark every year with the Clippers is, well, how many games is Kawhi going to play? We do this every year, isn't it? When's Kawhi going to play? If he's going to play. He has been playing recently, but we've seen in the playoffs, I mean, when we played him a couple of years ago, Kawhi played the first game and looked ridiculous, and then he never played the rest of the series. That was it. It was like, he was brilliant, and then he was gone. It was over. You know, but when he does play, we know Kawhi, bro, don't we? We know what he brings. We know what Kawhi brings to the table. A healthy Kawhi, I mean, is he's top 10 in the league, isn't he? Even still. So after all the time he's missed and things, but that's just what you get with Kawhi now. It's just injury, it's management, isn't it? And but he has been playing recently, so well coached Clippers. Ty Lue, one of the best coaches in the league. Deep team, the Clippers. They've got a lot of people. Got a lot of people they can throw at Jokic. But we've all seen playoff James Harden, so that's going to be a tough one. You've seen it as a
hey man, he done all he
Sixers fan.
He put up 45 in game 1 against the Celtics, man. No MB.
Yeah,
2 40-point games in that series.
Yeah, man. He's had his moments. He's had his moments.
NBA level this year. I think he's been great this year, James Harden. I think he's gonna get all NBA nod.
It seems that way. It seems that way.
I think he's rejuvenated. I mean, it's been good to watch him. Yeah.
But you know, which James Harden's going to turn up in the playoffs. But no, he has been very good this year, AB. Absolutely, yeah, for sure. And I think Zubac this year for Clippers has been fantastic. He's been really maybe talking about most improved. That's about
defensive player of the year. There's
a lot of people are picking him for All NBA, bro. All NBA third team, he might get a nod. I mean, he's been really good, Zubac. He's put up some 2020s. 2020 games, bro, this year. He's been really good. Can he play? I mean, nobody can play Jokic one-on-one, but he's somebody that you can you maybe play him one-on-one and do enough to kind of, make it difficult for Jokic? Because you're never going to stop Jokic. He's too good. But can you make it difficult for him? Can you make him work on the defensive end? I mean, they run a lot of plays for Zubac and things. So, can you make him work on the defensive end? Then he might not have as much on the offensive end. Jamal Murray, I mean, he's had some great moments in the playoffs. So can he kind of?
He's kind of hurt though, but he's gonna play. But he's a bit hurt. He's a bit banged up.
He's got that knee again, hasn't he? He's got that knee.
But he's tough. He'll play through that.
Yeah, I mean, this one, I'll go back and forth on this one, bro. I don't know how this is going to turn out. Obviously, the Clippers are going to have the advantage in coaching, for sure. Because, I don't even know who's coaching the Nuggets. Who the hell's coaching the Nuggets? I don't even know who it is.
They have, who's their coach? It's a former, I forgot his name.
Yeah, I don't know. So, they're going to have the advantage. Clippers have the advantage in coaching. They've got Powell as well, who's a six-man. Great six-man. He's had a good year as well. Powell's put up some numbers. put up some numbers.
David Adelman, that's it.
Adelman, sorry, that's right. Yeah. They've got a lot of people who they can chuck at Murray, Chris Dunn, Derek Jones Jr.
Yes.
Batum. If Batum's going to get some minutes, I would say he probably will because he's a veteran and he's been in some big games. Do the Clippers have a home court advantage now with that new arena? As another thing as well, you know.
No, but are the Nuggets? Do the Nuggets have home court?
Yeah, but as in like when they play at home.
Yeah, when they go there, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The good atmosphere. They've got the wall that they call the home end or whatever they call it and things. You know, But the Clippers have like a real when they do play games at home now in this new arena, fantastic arena. It's absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? But yeah, when they do, Nuggets do have home court advantage. So if it was a game 7, it's going to be in Denver. I'll go back on. Honestly, AB, I'm struggling on this one, bro, to pick which one I'm going to go for. Such question mark with Kawhi. I kind of pick the Clippers with the James Harden and Kawhi. I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough. If Jokic wins this series, beats this Clippers team, because a lot of people are high on the Clippers. A lot of people say the Clippers are the second best team in the West. So if Jokic wins this one, it's one of his. It might be a greater achievement than winning the title, bro. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm really torn on this one. I'm really torn. I'm going to go Clippers in 6 in the end. That's where I've landed. But this was the toughest one out of all of them, bro, that I kind of went for. So. How do you feel with this one turning out?
I just feel like the Nuggets. I think once you fire your coach and your GM 2 weeks before the playoffs, I mean, I don't know how you can really gather momentum from a move like that. I think that the camp in the Nuggets is probably at all-time low. I mean, and despite obviously we know Jokic, we've spoken about Jokic, they're gonna have the best player in the series. We know this, but just that alone, like it's just. And the fact that apparently that firing Michael Malone left like a sour taste in Jokic's mouth, and you don't want to upset your superstar. I mean, that's if there was ever a player in the NBA you don't want to upset, it's Jokic. So yeah, that's gonna be tough for them, man. But I think vibes are low in Denver. Obviously they had a back and forth with the GM and the coach. The GM wanted to play. Apparently, the GM wanted Mike Malone to play the young guys who he drafted, like Julian Stropher, Jalen Pickett, Peyton Watson, and guys like that. Michael Malone was insistent on playing vets like Russell Westbrook, and that definitely bit him in the backside a couple times.
I mean, Westbrook's always been a polarizing player, hasn't mate? Yeah. So that's a classic example of two people who just didn't agree, I'd say, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And then to round that all off, your second best player, Jamal Murray, he's kind of hurt, but we know I think he's gonna play through it. But we know he's a playoff riser, man. We all know this. He's someone who steps up his game in the playoffs. But I feel like the Clippers, a lot of people back the Clippers, but a lot of people are cautious because obviously there's a lot of unknowns and there's a lot of things that can go wrong. There's more things that can go wrong for the Clippers than for the Nuggets, in my opinion. Because Jokic, we know what we're getting from Jokic. We know what we're getting from Jamal Murray if he's healthy. Kawhi, health. His health is the biggest thing, his biggest factor. James Harden, obviously, we've spoken about him. He's played at all NBA level. Questions in the postseason are numerous as well. So those are your two best players. So your two best players having those question marks is really concerning. But Kawhi, I mean, we saw that game to make the playoffs against the Warriors. He walked into, what do they call it now? Chase Center. He walked into San Francisco, 33.6 rebounds, 7 assists, 13 for 20. I mean, that is typical in 48 minutes. That's prime Kawhi Leonard. That's the Kawhi Leonard that I saw in 2019. Just snatched the soul of my 76ers, man. Yeah. In those 7 games. So if that's the Kawhi Leonard that the Clippers are getting, then whoever's saying that they're the best team and the second best team in the West, that's where that viewpoint is coming from. Yeah. And obviously you got James Harden as well, who's been balling out. Norman Powell's been balling out. I mean, they've got good depth. They've got wings they've got wing defenders they can throw at your Jamal Murray, your Michael Porter Jr. that can really affect them. As you mentioned, Chris Dunn, he's someone who was on the fringe of leaving the NBA as well. He's come back, really carved out a nice role for himself.
Yeah,
Derek Jones Jr.
They had him on Steph a lot, didn't they? In that end regular season game, Dunn was guarding Steph a lot, and did pretty good job. Steph had a lot of turnovers and things. Chris Dunn's a very good defender, isn't he?
Very good, very good defender. Sure. Yeah, Steph had 8 turnovers that game.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, so he did a good job on him. So, but like you say, can Kawhi do it for 2 months? That's the big question, isn't it, mate? But
I think he can. The thing is, there was an interesting theory I read online about Kawhi Leonard. I feel like the Clippers know that they're not going to get like a full season of Kawhi Leonard.
No.
So they're just going to see if they can get through like a regular season. If Kawhi Leonard can play basketball from like, March to like June, then you're going to get this kind of Kawhi Leonard, the 33 points on 13 for 20% shooting.
Yeah.
So I feel like you're not going to get 82-game season out of him. You just have to use him in like spurts. So it's just whether or not the Clippers can hang and get right playoff seeding to go into a playoff series, and then Kawhi can do Kawhi-like things. So I think that's the theory. I think it'll be interesting. If it does work out, then that'll be very, very interesting theory and an interesting way to navigate through these stars who are decimated by injuries. So I think I've got the Clippers in 6 as well, by the way, just to mention. I've got the Clippers in 6. Yeah. I know obviously I just think that there's too much going on in Denver between like the coach, the GM. The vibes are low right now. Vibes are very, very low in the Mile High City. so give me the Clippers. I think Kawhi's gonna play at this level. I think Harden's gonna continue to ball out. And I think guys like Norm Powell, Derek Jones Jr. as well, another great piece you mentioned earlier. The Mavs obviously traded for him. No, they put him in the starting lineup towards the back end of that last season, and they went on a finals run. So that's another guy who knows what it takes. So I'm looking forward to this, man.
Underrated pickup. Yeah, Bogdanovic as well. They got in great, which is if he's a guy who's standing in the corner shooting threes, you're not in a bad state, are you? I don't think. But I just looked at the kind of when you're looking at like probably your players 4 to 8, like the Clippers 4 to 8 is way better than Denver's 4 to 8.
Yep,
kind of. You know what I mean? There are some players that. Aren't sure how some of them are who play real minutes for the Nuggets. So it's like, that's the worry. But if anybody's going to make them better than they actually are, mate, it's going to be like Jokic, isn't it? So, but no, it's again, there's a lot of series. There's 3 series in this West, mate, that they're all very tasty and are going to be watching a lot of them. A lot of games in this one, isn't it? But definitely going to be fun finding out, bro. But have you got a couple of minutes, bro? Quick, we just go through another little segment. Are you good?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Well, just like who do you think's kind of going to win it all, bro? Who we're going to have in the finals? Dare you say?
My finals matchup. So oh man, I know he's got for the East. I got the Celtics coming out of the East. I'm just gonna say that now. You see this? I'm a Sixers fan. It hurts me a lot to say this, but this is. I know the Cavs have been on a great run. I know the Knicks have obviously they've got their abundance of wing defenders and they've made big moves and things like that. And I know there's other teams. Pistons have had their good story spoken about them, and the Bucks have Giannis. We've spoken about them, but I just feel like they're the defending champions. They hosted to 60 games, 60 wins. Jason Tatum's been unbelievable. Jaylen Brown, Porzingis, like they shoot a lot of threes. They make a lot of threes. They match up well against anyone because you got your wing defenders, got defenders that can. You got your good point of attack defenders. That can defend guards. You got size. They have everything. I think they have everything. I think they match up well with literally everyone. They've got the experience. They've made it over the hump because the Celtics for years they were going to conference finals. Went to the NBA Finals, lost to the Warriors. They finally made it on top of the mountaintop, and I just think they're going to be here for a long time, man. I think they're going to be here for a long time. I've got the Celtics coming out of the East. The West now, it's just so tough. It's just so tough. I mean, OKC won 68 games. You've got Shea, you've got abundance. We've spoken about their depth. We've spoken about the guys that they have coming off the bench. Down to you like Isaiah Jones, Keita Wallace, all these other guys. Jalen Williams, both of them. the Rockets, they're not making it to the finals. They're still young. It's still too young. The Lakers, I can't count them up, man. I'm looking at the three teams I'm looking at the Lakers, I'm looking at OKC, and I'm looking at the Clippers. Give me the Lakers.
Oh, really? Lakers?
Yeah.
Celtics, Lakers, all that history and things.
That'd be crazy.
Oh, man.
I'm gonna change my mind like 4 more times before we next speak. By the way.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm getting you to say it on the pod now.
I just don't see. Okay, see that.
Yeah.
Give me the Lakers. I think the Lakers. Bron and Luka and Bron in the finals up against the Celtics. That's gonna be crazy, man.
Yeah.
Lakers Celtics finals. They were talking about the NBA ratings being low early in the season.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Yeah. Apart from maybe Boston and the Warriors finals viewership, Lakers Celtics is the viewership would be massive, wouldn't it, bro?
Crazy.
Absolutely huge, and the star power in that as well with those players.
Yeah.
That'd be insane.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll be honest. It was a pick that I thought about too. Like I say, I think the Cavs. I think the Cavs will give Celtics a real go, mate. In the conference finals, if both of them make it, I think that's going to be a real tough series. But like you say, the offensive firepower and defensive ability that the Celtics have, it's hard to see Celtics not making it back to the finals.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a tough one. Could you see anybody other than the Cavs getting past the Celtics? I don't really see it. But the Cavs have had a great year and they're riding high. But yeah, I have Celtics in the finals as well, bro.
Yeah.
I did think about choosing the Lakers, but I'm gonna go with the number 1 seed, man. I've got OKC kind of getting over that hump and making their first finals in a while since the Westbrook KD.
Yeah, 2012.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah. So I mean, and that to me is a mouth-watering finals. Celtics Thunder. Probably not the one that Adam Silver wants. He probably wants the one that you picked, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
But anybody who watches basketball knows how good OKC is. But I don't know if the general NBA fan is OKC in the finals. What's all that about, kind of thing. But they will definitely. Anybody who makes, like we said earlier, anybody who makes it to the West, bro, to the finals is an achievement in itself because you've run a gauntlet. For sure. Maybe not the Thunder with their first round matchup, but semis and the conference finals, you are going to beat somebody very legitimate, aren't you? A real decent team.
Yeah, they're basically beating a 50-win team.
Yes,
more. Obviously,
you're going to have to beat 2 50-win teams to make it to the finals. So that's a definite achievement in itself. But it's going to be fun finding out. So, AB, how many games are you going to be watching today? There's 4 games. How are you watching them all, or what we're saying?
Yeah, I have to. There's too many. There's too much going on. I mean,
love it, bro.
Every game is just a banger, man. Every game is just great.
Love it, man. Yeah, man.
I can see anyone winning, like literally any of these games today. Obviously, we made our serious predictions, but I wouldn't be surprised if any one of these teams won game 1 in these playoff series.
Yeah, no, there's the games today.
I'd be a bit surprised if the Timberwolves won, actually. Now, if the Timberwolves walked into Crypto.com Arena, I took game 1.
Oh, mate,
that would surprise me. Yeah, that would definitely surprise me. Surprise me. Yeah.
And we're off and running. The playoffs are here, and that's it. But thanks a lot for dropping in, AB. Much appreciated, bro. It's always a pleasure having you on the Shooters Lounge, bro. You've got a pass to the Shooters Lounge for life, my friend. So thanks a lot for dropping in, bro. So do you want to tell the people where they can find you on the socials before we head out, sir?
Yeah, Clutch New Media. I'll be live posting reactions and my thoughts on all these playoff series. As I said, man, we just went through our predictions. Like some of these series, I mean, these playoffs, like I said, my team's not involved for like the first time in a number of years. So I'm just sitting back and I'm just really like focusing on. I don't have to stress about anything. I'm just focused on just purely basketball and these matchups. I mean, if I could handpick playoff series, it'll look a lot very similar to what we've got right now. So it's exciting times, man.
No, absolutely, man, absolutely. Are we going to do some watch-alongs, AB, this
postseason? Definitely, we should.
Yeah,
we should.
We'll talk about that after we've done. That's one, man. But stay tuned for that, though, guys. But thanks very much, AB, for coming on, mate. Pleasure as always, sir. But I'm Matt at PostUp323. So you'll be able to rewatch this on YouTube, guys, or it'll be available very shortly in podcast form on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Give us some fanfare, give us some shares and stuff, and show us some love. But we'll be back next week where we'll be discussing how the first round's going on. So it starts today. Like I said, this is the best time of year to be an NBA fan, man. This is what it's all about. So we'll be covering it on the Shooters Lounge all the way till the finals in June. So thanks very much for tuning in, guys, and we will be back again very soon. Thank you.